We are here in Burbank, California at the awesome Mystic Museum.
This is why we took all of our streaming stuff and moved it over to the Mystic Museum. Look at this place.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's got a thing going on called Slashback where there's horror stuff everywhere. I'm on my little laptop.
Here, let me take
computer.
the webcam over to
Chelsea.
Slashback.
And there's John Schnitzer. You can take that mic.
Oh yeah, here you
go.
Oh, hello there, everybody.
Gives a little tour, a virtual tour of this place where we're at. Check this out. This is really cool. Oh, mics are clipping. Thank you for the sound feedback. Thank you.
There you go. So this is Slashback video. You never
check out all
know
this stuff here.
who.
Really slow pan.
Look who it is. It's director Graham Skipper. We're talking to director Darren Lynn Bousman. That's a director of Sequence Break.
This is
talking to the director.
This is networking right there.
That's amazing.
Alright, back to the sign, and then I'm just afraid I'm gonna make everyone motion sick. Okay.
Yeah, so I've just turned down the mic volumes. Keep letting me know if they're too loud or anything. We are adjusting all this on the fly, everybody, because obviously we're not streaming from the comfort of my home.
If this was the inside of our home, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, no, this place is so cool. There's a lot of even cooler stuff in this room. A lot of Ouija boards. I see Zoltar over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much stuff here. So
you can't touch anything.
I feel like I am very
stuff.
liable to get into a lot of debt today if I break anything.
Yeah.
There's also an old gaming machine playing the Friday the 13th NES game, which, as we know, is very frustrating. But yeah, John, do you want to start introducing some of the people we have here? We got a lot of people walking
We have
around.
a lot of amazing people here. Of course, we have legendary scare actor Shar Mayer. She's looking at stuff over there. Walk over to the side of the couch. Just pop over here. We'll be talking with Shar more later. You know her from Haunters. There she is. Her daughter Rosie, a great scare actor, right there. Hello, look at that. I love how candid you are. And she's wearing a 17th Door shirt. The two of them are at the 17th Door now. And I went there recently, and I thought I was going to scream the safe word. I did not. I'm very proud of myself, but I did scream a lot. And there is Donald Jolson.
Oh yeah, if you've seen the documentary, you know Donald.
That's right.
Donald and Shar.
There he is.
How you doing, everybody? Hi.
It's so great that your wife let you be here tonight. I'm really excited about it. It's
Just
really
this once.
That's so great. It's so great that she was very kind to let you do that. And of course we also have Darren Lynn Bousman and Graham Skipper. And I know Darren's got to be on his way pretty soon, so I want to make sure we get to talk to Darren and Graham. So Darren Lynn Bousman, of course, director Saw 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
He's also
Repo.
Repo, of course, the
Repo.
Genetic Opera. Oh my God, he's done so many awesome projects. He's touring around with St. Agatha now.
Yeah, it opens in like 2 months or something, theatrically, so it's good.
That's awesome. And of course, when my movie was on iTunes, he Facebook friended me, and I flipped out. And I was like, this is so great. Do you want to sit down for a second?
Yeah, I'll sit for a second.
Let's have a seat. We'll talk.
Here,
Sit right here, because that's
All right.
the camera.
Oh, excellent.
That little thing right there.
Oh,
yeah,
hi.
there it is.
Hi.
That's the camera. So you reached out and you were telling me about Haunters. First tell me what you thought about the movie, and then we'll talk all about you.
Do you know, it actually was his storyline with the wife, because just that time I watched Haunters, I had just opened up Tension Experience. And I felt like I was having an affair on my wife the entire time, because I would always come home and she was angry that I was spending more time with Tension. And literally, it was like a competing relationship. And so there was a whole. It just hit me, and it was a powerful thing, because it was like I could understand what each of these people were going through. Maybe not McCamey Manor, but everyone else. I was like, I understand. I can understand this.
Yeah, the only thing you can relate to in McCamey Manor at all is funneling all your money into something.
Yeah, it is, and I think that it's kind of a drug, and it's a hard thing I've tried to explain to my agents or friends, that haunting or doing things that evoke fear is a drug, and getting to go to and create one of my own Tension Experience, I became addicted very quickly, and you're searching and rushing, trying to get that high again, and that's led me to continue to make new ones and try to again chase that high, and I think that Haunters did a great job capturing that.
Thank you so much. But at Tension Experience, when you first started the Tension Experience, I was reaching out to you. I had no idea I was reaching out to you.
Yeah.
I didn't know who you were. And someone was talking to me with like a voice disguiser.
Oh yeah.
And you kept making me post different things on my Facebook page, like what all hail to
Yeah. I
glory be to
yeah.
what?
Glory be to Enoch on high. I didn't want anyone.
My family got very concerned when they started seeing these posts.
I wanted to open a haunt, and I didn't want it to be about Saw. I wanted it to be about the storyline and what we were doing. So I tried to hide it for as long as I could. I just thought that the art should speak for itself and not have to be Darren Bousman's The Tension Experience. And also, there's so many people that goes into making one of these things. Like my writer, who's at home right now writing our new one, which is a thing called Theater Macabre. I think he's like on page 600 of this storyline. And like, so it was a disservice to say my name when there's so many other people that are doing insane things with it. So we tried to hide it. We used voice disguisers, and yeah. But you can't keep a secret long in Hollywood.
One time you were in your car with your kid because I heard, Dad, I'm hungry.
My son has ruined many an ominous phone call that I've tried to do and be scary, and you hear my son or my dogs in the background. It doesn't work out well when you're trying to be intimidating to somebody.
That went on for months, and then I finally saw you, and you're like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But that was so cool, and it was so interesting how you did the tension experience.
Yeah.
Everyone that went through it had like some kind of a cult-like experience anyway. Like they really did talk about it all the time.
It's we tried to blur the lines as much as possible between fantasy and reality, and we introduced basically breaking the fourth wall and then breaking that fourth wall until there was like 32 walls we'd broken through. And I think it just hurt people's heads, and so they just wanted to talk about it because it pissed them off and it hurt their heads. So like we would have an actress playing herself, and so like she would call you and she'd break character and say, listen, my name is Sabrina, go on IMDb, this is my IMDb, they're making me say these things. And so if you've been interacting with a character for 6 months and then she breaks that and tells you who she really is, and she's really emailing you from her own account, it just confused people, and I think kind of it was our magic sauce for the tension experience, I think.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. And so tell us a little bit about Theater Macabre, the new show.
Yeah, it's a new one I'm doing in LA. It's the biggest thing we've tried to do in the way of storylines, where basically 10 people come in together, and each of their choices will affect every outcome. So which means that, 100 different people will go in and have 100 different experiences based on the choices they make. Definitely all the people in your group will have a completely different story by the very end. A lot of you won't even see the same things. So it's the most ambitious one that we've done for sure. And it kind of is paying homage to the Grand Guignol Theater in Paris, about this really sadistic shock theater and the people who inhabit it and why they inhabit it. So that's kind of a little bit about it. But it opens in like 2.5 weeks. And that's why I have to run, is that we have so much to do in such a little amount of time.
But Darren was so nice to give us 2 tickets to give away to some lucky winners tonight.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm jealous.
Yes.
I know,
So
right?
Yes, and
They just took the tickets, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Tickets.
Sorry.
Yep.
yeah, his shows sell out, so this is gonna be a great show. And I already know. Someone's honking their horn. They really want those tickets.
Those tickets.
Inside.
Yeah.
Like, I want those tickets.
I'm going to stay around for a little bit, so you guys continue to talk. I'll be here, continue to drink coffee in the back. But
Nice. Yeah, I smell it. It smells
right.
great.
It's right next door. It's so good.
Ooh.
Theater-macabre.com if you want to find out more information about it and come to the show. And hand out those 2 tickets to someone out there.
Definitely will. So,
I'm going to walk around here. I'm going to be here.
dude, it's so good to see you, man.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet you.
coming by.
Cool. Yeah, I have friends who were just posting about how they're really excited to go to Theater Macabre. So
Now I don't want to let people down because there's like this pressure on them.
We had friends who were doing tension, and we didn't know what it was. We had no idea what they were involved in, so they're just posting all of a sudden. Like our friend Brianna posting
Yeah.
weird, like is she in a cult now? I don't know. Do we need to have a
yeah, Rogues.
ropes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool. Yep.
Oh, that's.
And
so
even when she
cool.
kind of explained what it was, it still was like, what
We were like,
on
"Are you sure
earth?"
you're okay? Are you safe doing this thing?"
But now we know she was in good hands.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, she was in safe hands. Just the guy who made the needle pit. No problem.
I once saw you for the first time yesterday because I did a commentary on it, which I've not seen it since 2006.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Get on mic,
See
I'm gonna
this
say
mic.
No, I said I just watched Saw 2 for the first time in like I don't know 10 years, 11 years
Wow.
last night, doing a commentary for it, and it's crazy to rewatch something 10 years later, like The Needle Pit.
Yeah, like you were
Yeah.
there for it.
Yeah, I know, and I tototally forgot about it. That was pretty fun.
That was so disturbing. That really, that was the needle drop on a totally different chapter of Saw. Really, when that part happened, I was like, "Whoa!"
It's great.
It hurt my eyes looking at that. It actually hurt my face.
veins.
Yeah.
Hurt your
Yeah.
veins. We definitely should start the movie soon.
Sure.
But before we do that, I wanted to get to Graham Skipper, who also has a really cool experience. So Graham, come on over here.
Graham Skipper. Tag yourself in, dog. Oh yeah, you are the Andy Richter here. Yeah.
I'm like I'm very nice, and I just kind of am like, yes.
Your hair's not nearly big enough to be Conan, though.
No, I'm not nearly tall enough to be Conan.
Yes.
Nobody.
like
Conan.
Conan is.
Your hair. You put the beard on top.
I need a better suit. A better suit.
A suit?
Actually, this is great. I got my Alex Pardee pins here. I
with
got
it.
a Hunter's pin. I've got Slashback and Killer Clowns. I got all kinds of cool stuff. What do I need? Introduce yourself. You're such
Hi.
a great actor and director.
Thanks. I'm Graham Skipper. Apparently, I'm a great actor and director. Where am I looking? Where's that? Hi, everybody.
Very.
Yeah, thanks. I'm here. I'm very excited to be here. I'm a big fan of the documentary, and I'm producing a show that my wife is directing called Shapeshifter: The Carnival Underneath, and it's here. I have postcards in my butt.
This sounds crazy.
Yeah.
You were telling us
There you
about
go.
this on the podcast, right?
That's right.
oh,
yeah.
yeah, like the.
Yeah, it's a
Suspiria
total
kind of-
Suspiria vibes. So basically what it is we've done this in the past under the name Shapeshifter Circus, and and essentially what it is it's a live rock concert, and it has with a narrative, a story that happens told through aerial acrobatics and clowning and stilt walking and all sorts of circus acts. And this year we have made it a horror theme. It's all new music. We will be selling the album at the show. It's a story of a carny that descends into hell and has to find her way out, battling all sorts of monsters and all sorts of weird shit. We have a pre-show that's a haunted midway. That's am I allowed to say bad words? Can I say bad words?
Oh yeah, dude.
You giggled.
please.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I heard giggling.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Great.
That's the way to get
Well,
into
for
it.
fuck's sake, I'm happy about that. There's a haunted midway for a pre-show where there'll be a full bar. There'll be tarot card readers, face painters, and musicians, and even the world's tiniest haunted house, which we just confirmed is going to be happening.
How tiny is it?
It's
How
very,
tiny
it's
is
very
it?
tiny. It's the world's tiniest.
Were you like inspired by the Tiny House show, or?
It's
Yeah.
I don't know how much information I can give about this.
How small it is, and then you tell us how close we are.
Okay.
Like who's closest? I'm gonna guess it's like this big, and you look inside of it.
Oh, it's not quite that.
Okay,
It's not
I'm
quite
gonna
that.
I'm gonna guess that you can't stand completely upright in it.
And part of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It hasn't been totally put together yet, but it's gonna be awesome. So it's world's tiniest haunted house. So you can come and experience that. Then the show's really awesome. We run 3 weekends, October 19th. It's Fridays and Saturdays, starting October 19th and then running through November 3rd. So if you're a haunter or if you are totally jam-packed during the Halloween season, as many of us are, November 2nd and 3rd, you can come and still live a little bit longer in our favorite holiday season.
So you said this has an original soundtrack.
It
Is
does.
Kind of goblin-y, like Suspiria.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
I'm like in like frog rock. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put in a box. I mean, it's all written specifically for the show.
Yeah.
It's great. There are wailing guitar solos and two female lead singers who are the Siamese twins of our freak show, and they both sing and and are sorceresses that will manipulate reality.
That sounds so fun. I want to go to all of these shows.
It's gonna be rad.
Yeah,
Man,
awesome.
cool.
It's so original too.
Yeah.
I like this idea.
Thanks. Yeah, we're hoping is that it's something. I mean, because like I love going to Halloween stuff, and I love going to haunted houses and to every sort of experience. I love all that stuff. And what we're hoping with Shapeshifter is that it's kind of a fun alternative. You know, it's not quite as intense as something like, 17th Door or one of those things. But it's it's fun. It's a good fun time, and it's a fantastic date night. We're just excited to put on the show and get everybody there.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah, I love all the different shows that are totally different from everything else. Like yours, which I'm really excited for. And by the way, he gave us 2 sets of 4 tickets. So we'll be during the show.
Nice.
When we ask questions during the live stream, someone's going to win tickets to go to Shapeshifter, which is going to be a great night out with your friends.
gonna be awesome.
Which is awesome. Thank you so much, especially for 4 and 4, because it's like you get to go with a group of friends. Like it's a great night out.
And that's the best way to come. I mean, come early. Doors open at 8. Show doesn't start till 9. Come early. Get a couple drinks at the bar. Have a good time. Hang out with people. And then after the show, hang out. The show doesn't end when the show ends. We're gonna stay there. The midway will continue.
That's awesome.
It's because that's what, to me, like, Halloween is all about, right? It's about hanging out with people. I mean, I love handing out. My favorite thing to do on Halloween night is hand out candy to trick-or-treaters. But I always have a group of friends over to do it with me. Obviously, the reason is so that one of us can hide in the bushes and scare the children. So we got to have a distraction, a distracting force. But no, it's about coming with your friends. So yeah, we hope that 2 sets of 4 tickets, come any night, and it's gonna be really, really fun.
Oh my God, I used to dress like a mannequin, and I would wear a trench coat. I actually got a trench coat so I could do this when I was a kid, and I would just stuff myself with newspapers and wear
my friend did
right. I have a bowl with candy. Please take one. Whenever someone took way more than one, I grabbed their arm and go, "I'm gonna eat your face off!" And like they'd scream. Like it was the greatest because like parents would come up to me and go, "Did you scare my child?" I'm like, "Yes, I did. Yes, I
They
did."
took more than one.
They go, "How dare you?" I'm like, "Excuse me. They stole, and it's Halloween. It's like,
Halloween, I know.
They're lucky they're
welcome.
not dead.
So I have to share this. So what I used to do, and what I haven't done this in a very long time, but I should again. What I used to do is I would put a black trash bag canopy around my front door, right? So that when somebody would go in to ring the doorbell, they would be blocked. They couldn't see anything. I would be dressed up as a mannequin outside in the same way, newspapers stuffed out and whatever. And they'd just walk past me, think I was fake. And when they were inside the canopy, I would grab a leaf blower from underneath my chair. And while they were in there, I'd stick the leaf blower underneath the canopy and then just blast them with air. It was amazing. It was scarier than a chainsaw could ever be. I mean, you're getting blasted with air and children are screaming.
That's a great idea. A
Yeah.
leaf blower. You're right, because it's going to unleash all this like a chainsaw. It's like you hear the sound. I hear chainsaws now. I still like it, but I've never encountered a leaf blower as like a tool to scare. That's a great idea.
That's some force in your face.
Right?
I love that idea.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And it's safe, no blades to remove or whatever.
Cleanup's easy.
Cleanup's easy.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got that great experience. We also have tickets for Zombie Ballet that'll
Oh
be
my
coming
God,
up too.
so many tickets.
Look, you know what?
Friggin' Ticketmaster over here.
I love the Halloween community. I love, that there's just so many subgenres of horror, and in the haunt and Halloween world, there is a subgenre for all those subgenres, and I love that now it used to just be like a few different things you could do. Now there are thousands. So when I reached out to my friends, I was reaching out to people who's I really admire and that do great work and that are doing stuff that sounds like so inspiring and really cool. I was like, I really wanted Shapeshifter. I really needed Bowsman stuff. I really wanted 17th Door because, I did it this year and I screamed my head off. It was, look, when you can scare me and I'm walking into rooms holding my chest like this, like actually putting my hand on my heart and just going, oh my God. Oh my
You
God.
asked me to go. I would not be able to.
You should do
I'm
it.
not that scared.
There's a safe word. There's a safe word.
I know.
I just didn't
That's
call
how
it.
I can't check.
But I really
There's
wanted-
always a safe word.
God, I really wanted to call it too. There's a couple times I was like, oh my God, they do such a good job of making it feel very dangerous, but then you know that it's not. Like they had a virtual reality experience that they started off with.
Ooh.
Okay, so this year they've revamped it. It scared the shit out of me. I was screaming my head off, and everyone else there was too. and you're strapped into a metal chair. So unless you yell the safe word, unless you scream mercy, it's not going to stop. And you don't want to stop because you're like, what is going to happen next? And it's not just like it's just virtual reality. There's so much going on. I have a picture on my Instagram right now of me strapped in the chair
Nice.
with. That was from when it was happening. I was like, I didn't realize I was surrounded by people while it was happening. It's so great. Anyway, so there's a lot of other tickets, more shows, more things, but we should get moving
Yeah,
to
just
stuff.
to take the tickets are all for people in the area, right? Since these are local events.
So if you're in Los Angeles, you can go to these shows. If you're in the SoCal area, however, I also have autographed Haunters DVDs that are signed by Donald and Shar and me, Jessica Cameron.
Oh, cool.
Josh Randall, the creator of Blackout, who also is now he does all the experience stuff for 2-Bit Circus that's going on right now.
Oh,
and
I hear that's great.
Yep, he's awesome.
He's the one who did the Casterly Rock one?
Yes, he did the Castle Rock experience. That's okay. I like.
Really rock.
Yes.
Oh,
He
man.
founded
Yeah.
House
Oh, my God.
Lannister.
I heard he did the Casterly Rock experience. It cost $100 million. No, Castle Rock.
Such a limit.
Don't worry about it. It was awesome. And he did the Castle Rock experience. Josh also did a great experience for The Purge. He also did a really cool one for the new Strangers movie.
Oh, cool.
Where you went through the trailer park.
Do you
And it
get to
was-
go through a pool while someone tries to drown you?
That would have been
It's
really
totally
crazy.
close in the heart.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty fun. No, you went through the trailer park, and as you're walking through it, they just tell you, just go. And you're just walking through it, and all of a sudden a woman yells, they're after me, and the guy with the bag on his head is right behind her. You're chasing inside of the trailer, and then she tells you, close the door. You're holding it shut, and the guy's pulling it. You have to lock it.
And you're screaming, hold the door.
Hold it, exactly. Or door. That was so good. That was, look.
I do what I can, guys. I do what I can. Thanks.
Like, you know where my brain is.
Can everyone just take a moment to recognize how funny and how perfect that moment was?
I'd also like to let our live stream audience know that any donations you make to the stream is going to charity tonight. 100% of the donations are going to charity that John chose. Don't be a monster.
Don't be a monster. I like this charity a lot. Bowsman's taking off.
Ooh, I am actually going to get a picture with Darren Lynn
Okay, no
Bousman, so
problem.
Yeah.
I'm going
You
to
guys-
step away
you guys
for a
take off.
second. Hope you understand.
Thank you
Just
so
gonna get a
much.
picture.
It's so good to
Yes.
see you.
Yes.
Let's talk soon.
Yes, let's do it. Nice seeing you again.
So
Hey.
nice seeing
Yes.
I'll
you.
see you at the show.
Yeah, see you at the show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Darren, yeah, can I
Awesome.
actually get a
All right.
picture?
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. And we'll talk soon. and
Yes, thank you.
share
I'm
the
sorry
whole
I
thing.
have to leave.
Dude, no worries.
And
Thanks for the tickets.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to the show. Enjoy the show. Whoever wins the tickets.
Yes.
We can't wait to see
have to
you.
tell us how it is.
I will be there taking tickets, so you come up and say hi to me and tell me that you were here because of this. Can't wait.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so nice
Okay.
to meet you.
So while we're waiting, because you can go take a picture with Darren Lynn Bousman. Don't even worry about it. Go do it.
Yeah, I'll just like
While she's doing that, I'm going to do a raffle with people who entered early. That's right. I love giving away prizes. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a raffle right now. And the winner of this is going to get an autographed DVD with 30 minutes of bonus features. They're all taking pictures and selfies right now in slashback video. It's awesome. I love this. This is what I love about Halloween time is everyone getting together to do all this stuff. Okay, so I'm giving away right now
Hi.
to people who entered early. And by the way, there's a lot of people who have been entering.
Ooh.
And I've been writing down their names. So someone's going to get right now Haunters DVD with 30 minutes of bonus features. That's autographed. And
Nice. And
we go.
there will still be prize opportunities for the people who
Oh, yeah.
yeah, are in
Oh.
the stream. So don't you worry.
Oh, I have more DVDs. I have
so many.
I have more stuff. I even have from the, by the way, cool prize. This is coming later from the Mystic Museum.
I'm jealous.
Okay,
Jealous
so
of all the prizes.
it's a tote. It's a tote. Calm down. Inside the tote, what? Slashback video?
Ew.
What?
So good.
Inside.
Flashback video.
Hold that up.
Oh,
Boom.
cool.
So what you have to know is
I can't tell how wide.
I know there's a delay. There's like
So-
a Scream style delay. So
yeah, the
okay,
Mystic
there. No, it's great.
Museum puts on these amazing art shows. They did a great one for The Shining, where there was just all The Shining
Yes,
here.
That was recent too.
Yeah, and this is the second slashback show where they recreate the, a VHS horror video store.
It is like you look over there and I'm like, yep, this looks like an old video.
It's
store.
so
so
cool.
cool.
Looks like-
Yeah.
This looks like the one in what's the one in Ann Arbor? Like really old.
I
one.
forget.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's
Here,
so-
actually, here I do want to show people a little bit.
Take a little tour, and then we'll pull a ticket out. And then inside the tin is just a ton of stickers and pins and a lot of cool stuff. That's coming up later too. No, I have a lot of prizes for people who are on the stream right now, and we're gonna be giving it away.
I'm gonna hop on like
But yeah, you should narrate what they're looking at.
Okay, so I see we're looking by these videos. Oh, here we go. James is gonna show you guys the best thing in here that I want to purchase. It is the
That was
There
made by
we go.
That's by one of the owners of Mystic Museum. Made that.
one of the
Eric.
owners made
Yeah,
this.
he made that.
Yeah, it says welcome to primetime, bitch.
So cool.
Also, hey James, apparently my microphone is very quiet.
Oh, I've been turning it up.
But I'm
It's
on
just-
the big screen now, so
If you're in Southern California and you're going to be around here, I think this show goes until December. You got to come and check it out.
Slashback does?
Yes, you
Yeah,
have to
Slashback
check
goes
it out.
till December.
It's
Thank
so
you for
cool.
your donation. Oh, I can't see your name.
So the charity is for Don't Be a Monster. I found out about Don't Be a Monster.
I love the idea of this. And
It's
I
it's
kind of
really
want to
cool.
just do more stuff with them with dead meat.
It's so cool because what Don't Be a Monster does is they are basically all about anti-bullying. They go to schools and talk to kids about it, and I just love that it comes from people in the scare industry that do scaring the right way.
Yes.
You know, because a lot of people who got into haunting are people who, and a lot of people who are into horror are people who grew up being the scaredy
Bullied,
cat
yeah.
and bullied.
Oh yeah, I was the biggest scaredy cat growing up, and now I'm someone who, yeah, I love horror and I enjoy being scared. But yeah, it's because there's a good, healthy way to do it. And
Right.
I think it's cool that there's a charity that focuses on teaching kids the right way to do it.
Yes. Yeah, and going to schools and talking to kids about bullying also. And it's cool because it's not just another adult talking to the kids. It's like, this is an adult who scares people for a living,
Yeah.
talking to the kids. That's the coolest part.
Yeah.
Look up Don't Be a Monster. And thanks for your donations to Don't Be a Monster. It's really cool. All right, let's pick a winner for a DVD right now. Again, this is people who entered before. Don't worry, plenty of prizes for everyone on this stream. This is gonna be watch party and game show. Okay.
Yes.
Let's get a name. Let's see. We've got a name, and let's see. It's my penmanship. Chris Leroy. Let me tell you right now, Chris Leroy entered so many times and did so many of these. I'm glad Chris Leroy won because
yeah.
Chris Leroy. I don't know how many of your friends you've tagged to this thing. I don't know.
You need to go on the clipboard
Oh yes.
so that we keep
Ooh.
track of like who got what.
That ain't stinking thinking. Thank you so much. So it's going to be so we have to mark off one of the autographed DVDs.
Awesome.
So at the bottom there, we got, boom, Chris Leroy, Leroy. Don't even look at this. My penmanship is horrible. With a Chris with a K.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Okay.
So Wizzy Guy gets a Honors DVD and pin.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Anyone who gets an autographed DVD is going to get a pin. And it's going to be the new Fright Rags enamel pin.
So it's gonna be really nice.
It's really good.
I was looking at some of the Fright Rack stuff out in the front. It's like I kind of want some of these shirts. They're so soft.
I love it. When I came here earlier, I was checking all the wires and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, I was wearing a Slashback shirt when I was here earlier." I wanted to make sure I represented Honors.
Yeah.
Well, you can get these on Fright Rags right now. We're the only documentary to have
Fright Rags?
Fright Rag shirt.
That's
The
awesome.
only one of all time. I'm convinced it's Adam Rabelay's art. It's so
It's such
awesome.
good art.
It really is. I'm so stoked. All right, so we're gonna do a little countdown, I guess, in order to get to the movie synced up. Everybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
And
should.
for some reason, Chelsea, your mic, I can't get it to work. I can't get Chelsea's mic to work. I don't know. I don't know. So just be aware of that.
I'll just yell into.
Yeah, just yell. Hey, no.
All right, so get
Yeah, we can share
close,
this
and
one.
then so that ticket we'll keep out.
I wish we had the really old school style game show
Like the real
microphone where
skinny
it's like the
ones?
skinny one with the little ball on top.
Like a Price is
You
Right.
go around hugging everyone and making everyone uncomfortable. Like what's his face?
Bob Eubanks.
No,
not Bob Eubanks,
Richard from Family Feud.
Richard Dawkins.
Yes,
Who was
Dawson. Richard Dawkins is a different. That would be crazy if Richard Dawkins was different.
Dawson. Dawson, who we all know, was also in The Running Man.
Is he?
He's the host. He's the game show host.
Oh my god. Yes.
And he basically
Yes, Richard Dawson.
Remember when Schwarzenegger was like really mad at him?
Yes. Okay.
I forget the catchphrase. He had one. But there you go. Okay, so we'll get this. I was about to call him meat. James is working on this part of your
Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is if you're a Patreon subscriber, which one, thank you, two, you know how our commentary tracks tend to work, where if we're doing a commentary track, we count down 3, 2, 1. On 1, we hit play on Netflix, and you do the exact same thing so that we're all synced up and we're watching the same thing at the same time. We're also gonna have a little square in the corner showing the documentary, just in like a very tiny box, so you can see where we're at.
So that
if
means
you hop
that we
in-
have two different computers here, the one that they're watching it on and the one that I'm on right now, doing this donation live stream. Thank you, by the way, Elsa and Christina and all you people donating to this wonderful charity. It's anti-bullying, man. No one likes bullying. Screw bullies. So what we can do is, put this thing into practice, and on 3 we'll hit play.
Yes.
Right?
On
On 3.
Oh my god, this is just like the wire cutting scene in every movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So it's not after 3. All right. Okay. So hold on. Let me give the live stream audience a chance to pull up their movie on Netflix. Yeah. Okay. Nope. Not Open House. Jesus Christ, please no. Not Open House. Okay. Here's Haunters, the Art of the Scare. Please. I saw it once. I'm good.
Good God, no.
We're giving you anti-bullying. And the first thing you do, you're just so cruel.
Well, you know what? I had to watch that, so right back at him. Ready? Okay. Okay. On 3.
On
1, 2, 3. I hit play.
I did it.
And
It's loading.
it is loading.
I have a
Oh
no
no.
direct connection with Netflix. Please check network settings. Oh, there you go. After all this, no network. Here we go. We'll get on their Wi-Fi.
We're playing on this one and we'll catch it up on that one.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Okay.
here we go. Got the Mystic Museum. Let's get the password. Oh my god. Hey Shar, can you ask Eric what the password is?
So we will, if you hit play, don't worry, you're good.
Yeah. Everyone else is good except this computer. It's fine. Which you've seen your own documentary many times. You're good. We'll catch up with these guys. Yeah, we can act it out.
Sorry for the volume.
Text it to me. Well, don't worry.
It's fine.
We're fine. Okay, so opening montage time, by the way. I'm so stoked on that opening montage. So you just saw kind of years of my life fly past. The first movie that's coming up, the first haunt that's coming up here too, by the way, is Rotten Apple 907. It's on California Street in Burbank, Toluca Lake area.
Oh, okay.
It's really, if you're gonna go, get there really early, and it's worth it. This year they're doing an evil Pinocchio themed maze. They did a Snow White one that was absolutely insane.
I think you're sitting right in front of the camera.
Oh my god.
And so yeah, they're amazing. I actually filmed them for years, and I wanted to put so much more, but you have to sacrifice for story. But they're incredible, and that's also inside their haunt. It's just their driveway, and they transform it. So they're 1 mile away from another haunt called the Backwoods Maze. So in one night, you can do 2 great home haunts, and then you're just a mile away from Zombie Joe's Underground Theater, where you can go and have like a real wild experience with Urban Death Tour, which you can do. They don't touch you. It is like a David Lynch fever dream.
What
It's
is
completely,
it?
it's part maze where you walk through like these garbage bags, and you have a flashlight, and you can only see what you shine the light on. A lot of nudity, a lot of weirdness, a lot of crazy stuff. But I'll tell you right now, it's hysterically funny. It's shocking. At least one thing will cross a line with you, and you'll leave like feeling it was total magic. It's
Okay.
really fun. I do it every year. Even friends of mine that aren't into haunts and horror ask me every year, when does Urban Death come back? Like it's a lot of fun.
Urban Death.
Yes, it's a tough, rough name, but it's really a
You said that one is like a David Lynch kind of
fever
feel.
dream.
Okay.
It's so
I love me some David Lynch.
it's so weird and crazy. So, okay, so the movie, yeah, I want to make sure we get Shar and Donald talking over here. Yeah. Here, come on over
I
here.
mean, we can see it from here too.
Yeah, we don't need it, James. We don't need it. Okay. So, legendary scare actor Shar Mayer. Oh, all right. So, here we go. Your favorite. It's McCamey Manor, Shar.
It's not my favorite. I don't like McCamey Manor.
I know. Look. It's not. The
I don't understand why people want to do it.
You know what? The fact that you just said you don't understand why people want to do it's really interesting because some people who have done it will be here very soon. Yes, and I've
They
been.
could tell me why they wanted to do that, and how great it felt to be abused.
We'll have you interview that.
You know,
This won't even be our show anymore.
everyone was
Not
always.
into that.
Everyone always asks me the same things too, like, oh, is it the same kind of person that goes? And like, no, all walk. Like you'll meet one person, someone at the bar. A ghost just said, "Hey, you." It's so weird. Actually, let me bring you back. I got to Donald in here because this is Donald's part.
Oh yeah.
Donald, hop on in here. Donald Jolson, you want to get on the couch?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't trust this at all.
Yeah, the couch.
This haunted couch.
Okay.
They don't build them like they used to.
Okay. So we met in the 6th grade.
We did.
Oh.
Oh, that voice.
Oh my God. Hey, okay, so number one, how strange is it for you to see yourself, your family, everything, your haunt in this movie?
It is surreal, but I hate it. I don't like looking at myself, let alone. Yeah, it's just weird, especially given the timeline. The weight fluctuation is hilarious. Like at one point, I'm 70 pounds lighter in here. It's weird to see my mom still that mobile or my brother shirtless. That's always fun.
When was this? How many years ago was that
This
filmed?
is 4 years ago.
Four,
This is
okay.
2014. It's hard to tell because you were filming at least a couple years, right? So.
I filmed the movie took 4 years because people.
But you started filming like when? 2012?
I filmed something in 2011.
Okay.
But I was filming Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights in 3D.
That's right.
And was that 12? It was when Guillermo del Toro was at the Igor Awards, and I filmed an interview with him in 3D. I filmed Alice Cooper's Haunted House in 3D. There's some glimpses of that it worked its way into the movie. I didn't have a plan of making a movie then. I was just obsessed with haunts, and I love it. And I wanted to see it in 3D. Does anyone have any questions for Donald?
Donald, are you still in this house?
My parents are still there. Yeah, they actually fixed it up really nice, so I don't think I'll ever trash it again. So she's scraped the ceilings, repainted. Everything's super nice. I think they would murder me at this point if I ever.
But you do it in the driveway, right?
Oh no, it went through the house the final year.
That final year of that maze was so incredible because you went through the maze, tell them where you went.
You went up through the driveway, back through the side of the house, into the kitchen, into the living room, through the front foyer, and then back into the maze and hit the exit. It was roughly about 2,000 square feet, 2,000 linear feet.
Yeah, no, it was such a wild experience to go through that haunt because it was his haunt. His neighbor had a haunt across the street, and then there was a scare zone in the middle. I was gonna do a whole story between him and his neighbor, but it didn't work out that way. It was hilarious because it was your neighbor. I was like, oh my God, you must really get along with this guy because he does this really great other haunt across the street. And what did you say?
I never talked to him. Never spoke to him once.
In like what, 10 years?
Yeah, at least 10 years.
Did you both do home haunts?
Yeah, his name's Clay. He's a really nice guy. He was I think he's a doctor. I had 4 daughters, and you could tell that this was the only time he actually got to live his life. But he I never talked to him because I always saw it as kind of a competition. So we both kept escalating to the point where, like, it's like, oh, the last thing I got to do is go inside the house. But I finally spoke with him, and he was the nicest guy, and I felt so bad about giving him the stink eye for 10 years.
So I start filming. He tells me this story. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I get his neighbor Clay talking about him talking about Clay. This is fantastic. We're getting ready to go. He calls me and goes, I just talked to him the other day. He's a really nice guy. I don't know. I was like, well, there goes that movie. We're gonna have a new storyline.
You would be a terrible reality show producer where you're like, I'm gonna, let's document this rivalry, and then they're like, no, we're friends now. Thank you.
That was the worst. It was the worst because I thought this is gonna be the easiest movie to make. I have one street to shoot on.
The irony is that it was John's fault for me going to talk to him because he went over to the other house and he goes, oh man, they're really good. I don't know if you got it. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? Okay. No, it's really good, man. You got your work cut out for you. So I'm like, there's no way this guy's haunt is better than mine. So I walk over there. Okay, let me see your stuff, and that's how we started talking. So it's all John's fault. Yeah, he would be the worst reality.
Yes, if John
TV
produced
show
The
producer.
Bachelor, all the women would be like, "We're just really good friends. We just want to come away from this with some friends."
I try to get people to get along, but I like it when people get along. Okay, so Shar's part's up right now, but I know. Let's talk to Shar, and then does anyone online have questions for
I
Donald
just
first?
was able to get the chat back up. So chat, if you have questions, go ahead and send them my way, and let's see what I can do. I can maybe write them down in a little notepad file.
Yeah, and then let's start with Shar. So Shar, come on over here.
Any questions for
So
Shar?
legendary scare actor Shar Mayer. So legendary scare actor Shar Mayer.
Yes, Shar.
Loved having you in this.
I love being in it. Thank you.
And so, first off, how do you feel when you see yourself in this movie?
It's kind of funny that he was saying the same thing. You see yourself over and over. It's kind of weird. But I know all the things I'm talking about is the same things I talk about all the time to all my haunters. So, it's me. But it is weird to see yourself on TV. Usually, if I do a film or TV show or something, I'll watch it like once, and then I don't have to watch it again. But now I've seen this movie a couple of times.
Yeah. I remember the first time we watched it at Fantastic Fest with that whole live audience, and I was so nervous. And then the reactions, it was so great because when the movie was over, there was a line that formed to hug Shar.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was so nice. Everybody was so sweet.
That was the greatest, because I think your story is so great in here. I mean, Graham Skipper, when I was talking with him about his haunt before, and actually there's a video online right now of Graham talking about you, because you were like the highlight of the movie for
Really?
him. Yes, he loved your whole storyline and how you were scaring people, because he was a scare actor in a haunt also.
Oh, he didn't tell me
and he
that.
has a great scare actor story. But now, I mean, you do impart a lot of really great wisdom and advice to scare actors in this movie and about the right way of scaring.
Yeah, one of the coolest things about this film is being able to talk to people all over the country and now all over the world that are scare actors that know it's an okay thing to do. Like, my husband's on right now.
You guys, when he said 25 years today, you guys came to my house to an interview, and it was your anniversary, your 25th anniversary together.
Yes, it was. And he was like, all right, we'll go to LA and hang out with John for a little bit. All right. And then we did the interview, and he was okay about it. He's, like this week I started haunting again, and it was like a little bit, he's got a little cold. He's like, what time are you going to be back? And a little bit like, just not into it still. But it is what it is. He waits till I come home, and there I am.
Do you have any questions
I
for
got
Shar?
some great questions.
Okay, great.
For Shar and Donald. Let's start with a general one it looks like it's to whoever from Halloween Mask Dude, which is, how do you deal with rude guests?
It depends on how rude they are. If they're just going to say things, I ignore them. The only thing that I don't allow is hands-on. If somebody goes to touch me or touch any of the people in my cast, I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to go hands-on too. That's
nice.
a no-no. People could say whatever they want. If they're getting a little bit over the edge, like where we're working now at the 17th door, I might call security. But pretty much, you could say whatever you want, but don't touch. Once they put their hands on the actors, they're out.
How did you deal with it?
My maze was staffed with bouncers, Navy SEALs, and former military, so we didn't really have to worry about it too much. But what we
That'll do
did
it.
do is if somebody, like the biggest problem was obnoxious Southern California, Orange County kids who would scream like, "I'm going to sue you if you scare me," and
Oh
all
God.
that other stuff. That was our biggest problem. But essentially, physicality, always make sure you have backup, always make sure you know where your cast members are so nobody gets hurt. And then ignore them. Just to stop interacting with them. The worst thing you can do to anybody who wants attention is to ignore them. So we would just go silent and they'd walk away.
You know, can we? That's the first question. And I really love the question too. We should give this person a prize.
Oh, Halloween mask, dude. Sounds like you might have gotten yourself a prize there, man.
Ask a Halloween mask dude if he is he in this area.
Yeah, Halloween mask, dude. You in the area? You can go ahead and email me, deadmeatjames@gmail.com, info.
And then we'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out.
Whether it's going to be
Yeah.
an event or something else. Okay, and we have more people that are in here now, but any other...
Oh, yeah. Let's see. We got D.E. Zaster asking Shar if she's been noticed at 17th Door since the movie came out. Like,
Is
do
that
people recognize
Disaster
her?
Morales?
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
D.E.Z.
Disaster. Yeah.
Is it?
I
Yeah.
know that name. I know
We got
that
a
name.
plant. We got a plant in the stream.
No, he's a big part of the haunt community.
Oh, cool.
Him
That's
and his
amazing.
whole family. Yeah, I have.
Oh, yes.
A couple of times I've gotten recognized. I had somebody come in the room the other day, and I'm playing a scene where I'm playing the psychiatrist, and it's a serious scene, and it part of this really important part of the storyline. So I have to get things across to everybody, and I have a very limited amount of time. And then we also want to get our scares in. But yeah, I heard this guy going, "She's famous." and I saw you on Netflix. And it happened a couple, like one night it was like 3 groups of people. I had people say that they know me or
Oh,
they've seen
great.
me. So that was really cool.
Yeah, like it's always fun to see you in a maze. I love it every time. It's especially this year at 17th Door. You kill me.
That was the closest I got to maybe considering 17th door. And you were like, well, Shar will be there. And I'm like, I would feel like safer. It made me feel safer.
So you can come
But
with me.
Donald's
gonna
go?
All right, party.
Safe word. So if you don't like what it is, you just say the safe word and you go on.
I mean, here's the thing. You'll find out how brave you'll feel more brave knowing there is a safe word because you want to test you're just like you don't want to call it.
Yeah.
But what's fun about 17th Door is when you call the safe word, they don't kick you out. You can just skip that room and go to the
skip
next
the
room.
room.
I think that's really
That's
cool.
really
Yeah,
cool.
maybe you're not-
It's good. I think it's the only one that does.
Maybe you're not into it's the only one that does it, I think. You can if you're not into electricity, maybe you're not into cockroaches, you can skip those parts. Skip those parts. Because the storytelling is great, the special effects are fantastic, and there's definitely one scene in there that I think is so controversial that I know their media night is happening this weekend.
Saturday.
I'm so curious what the stories that were going to come out about this one particular room that I still can't believe they put that in the haunt. It blew my mind.
It's one of the 2 favorite rooms. We have 2 favorite rooms that everybody has as their favorite, and they're both new or revamped. The thing that's nice is there's not one thing the same from last year. The entire maze is redone. The characters are new characters. There's only like a handful of, besides Paula, there's only a handful of characters that are repeating.
Yeah,
and-
Paul is a character that's throughout every year in the maze,
Oh, okay.
and it's a whole storyline. But it's interesting because he does revamp so many of these rooms. Anyways, but
How is the building set up, or is that something you kind of can't reveal? The
Oh, I can reveal.
layout of-
It goes up one side and down the other side.
Okay,
you go
so
room
it
to
is
room,
like a
room to room,
like
room.
kinda-
a giant
And
warehouse
there's a
with
spine
sets.
in the
Oh,
middle,
yeah,
and
okay.
when we throw people out, we just throw them into the spine and tell them to go down to the end and walk right out if they want to leave.
But when you're in it, the sets are so beautifully made.
They are really.
That it really is like going through a scary movie. And the other prizes we'll be giving away too. We have 2 tickets for Murder Co. The R-rated escape room. Amazing. Those are, and here's
John
the deal.
Cook.
Yeah, John Cook, the designer for Not Scary Farm, designer for Queen Mary. There's other designers there too. He's my favorite designer at those places.
He's my favorite too.
He's incredible.
Aw.
He's also in a touring heavy metal band. Yeah.
Rosie went to Knott's the other day, and she saw one of the mazes he did, and Rosie, come over here.
This is Shar's daughter, Rosie.
Hello. Hi.
Rosie's
you
a
can
scare
tell.
actor.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Rosie's a scare actor
I'll pop
too.
into this.
Rosie's a
camera.
great
Hello.
scare actor. Oh,
I'm just tripping on everything today. Hello.
Thank you.
So what was the room at Knott's like?
Oh well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
General stuff.
Room scale animatronics, fog and lighting effects in the coolest way possible.
Which haunt?
It was the depths.
Oh.
And
so
when
that's like
I
the creature from the Black Lagoon type.
no, that's kind of what I thought it was at first when I heard about it, and then I read the description. It's like, oh, spooky underwater miners, and I'm like, okay, but I can't give anything away because
Okay.
it goes places, and it was so amazing.
But I was talking about the design, that he has
Oh, it
something
was
very
gorgeous.
unique in that maze
At
that you've never seen before.
animatronics, moving parts.
That's not Scary Farm. So
Yeah, it was
one
so
thing I want to
cool.
make sure we get to. We do have, this is McCamey Manor on here right now. So we have someone here that went through McCamey Manor, who's in like the third act of the film. I want to bring her in right now.
All right.
Oh, I was wondering who showed up. I was like, who are these
Thank
guys?
you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. Everyone always asks. Scoot in the middle. She needs to get on this too. So
So many.
first off, introduce yourself.
I'm Heidi from LA. So I won't give my last name, just Heidi.
That's
Hi,
fine.
Heidi.
That's fine. There's a reason I didn't give out. I don't think I give out anyone's last name in the movie for McCamey Manor.
I'm Chelsea.
Nice to meet you, Chelsea.
Oh, hello.
And I'm always being.
Just a skeleton
And
back
your
here.
kids, feel free to have one of Shar's cupcakes with the glass shattered. It's really great. Anyways, yeah, it's really cool. But pull at the camera. Shar made these,
Ooh.
and they're vegan.
Vegan glass cookies.
Careful with the stuff. So so there you go.
Oh, someone in the chat
There's always
says
something
they
going
know
on with my.
Heidi.
Yeah, same here.
There's always something going on
Someone
with
in the
my
chat
beard.
says they know Heidi.
Oh really?
Someone named Christian S says they know Heidi. I don't know if you
Okay,
recognize
hi.
that name. Hi.
Hi,
just
Christians.
be-
Hello.
Okay, so first off, I have a question. She's got a lot of questions for you. Everyone's always asking me, what kind of person goes to McCamey Manor? Why would they want to go? You saw the videos. It said, don't go here. Look all the terrible things that'll happen to you. All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to go. You can feel free to hold my.
Okay. So I'm very much so into horror, big fan. And my older sister introduced me to McCamey Manor. I got obsessed, went down that rabbit hole of watching all the videos, and I couldn't believe that this was real. I thought everybody was acting. So I said, okay, well, if it's not real, how bad can it be? They're okay. So that's why I signed up.
Signed up because you thought.
To call a bluff, basically.
Well, it looks so intense that I thought nothing like that could be actually happening, and it can't be legal, can't be real. So
Yeah.
some of this has to be acting, and I just had to find out.
And you were dressed up as like an elf?
It's
I
for
was
science.
an elf. It was a Christmas one, and I was told to dress up in the Christmas spirit, and I don't want to be Santa Claus, so I was an elf.
Yeah, I totally get that mentality though, because I sometimes think about that with restaurants or something where it's like, well, it has to be fine. It's open, like they haven't been shut down. I can eat here and not get food poisoning. So I completely.
Then you get that food poisoning.
mentality.
Restaurant are you comparing this
know.
to?
I don't know.
Because sometimes you think like,
chain?
extreme restaurant.
Now I'm curious. I want to try that.
Just restaurants are like maybe smaller, they just those are the ones that often just taste the best.
I mean, did you ever do
I
any?
thought it was a good
Has
analogy.
she done anything?
Yeah, when it comes to like McCamey, was that your first
It
extreme?
was my first extreme haunt. I've done all like the Six Flags, Universal, Knott's throughout the years, and I did the 17th door, but I've never done anything like that before.
Right.
So it was intense for it being the first time.
And tell people a little bit about the experience. Give them a little bit of the experience.
So it was very emotional. Well, for me, it was very emotional.
Hey guys, Donald, anything you crinkle?
So it was very emotional. I didn't think I was going to cry as much as I did. I wanted out right away, but at the same time, I'm glad I wasn't. I don't know if that makes any sense. I learned that I don't like water, but I learned that I'm okay in small spaces.
Oh.
Were you in there with anyone else, or was it just?
It was someone else that I had met her that day, never met her before, and we went in there together as a team, and they did, what the McCamey Manor loves to do is to kind of put people against each other. Mm-hmm. And they tried to do that, and I was trying not to give in, but eventually I did, because after so many hours, you just want out.
Do you guys keep in contact, you and this other person that went through?
We
or?
did for a while, and then it's like this weird, like, kind of like you're traumatized, and you want to not talk to this person.
Right,
and
they evoke.
Because they
like,
saw you in a very vulnerable state, like someone over here. And you just feel very, it's weird.
Right,
You lose
yeah,
contact. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was the hardest part was filming while people were going through. There was a one point early on where I stopped filming, and with Christina Buster, because she went to shock, and I took her out of the maze, and then when she snapped out of it 30 minutes later, she was like, "Why did you take me out of the maze? I want to go back in. Put me back in the haunt." And I was like, "You went into shock." She's like, "Screw this." She yelled at Russ. She went in like 4 more hours, and then she went back over and over again.
She's hardcore. I was there, I think it was like 4.5 hours, and it felt like 2 days.
Oh my God.
But would I do it again? No. No, you couldn't pay me enough.
What was the worst part of it?
The water.
Yeah.
The water.
Not the things he makes you eat.
No, I mean, it came out anyway. But it was the water.
The water.
It was the
That's why
water.
he does like simulated drowning and stuff.
Yes.
That's such a fear of mine.
Oh
too,
my goodness.
So I
I don't know, can I say it? The like cloth in the water and
Say whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like, it's not, I don't know what the correct term for waterboarding is,
Ooh.
but it feels like waterboarding
if
because
it's the cloth, yeah,
it's
I think
the
that
cloth
is.
and
so-
the water.
So
Yeah.
it's not what they're doing is not actual
It's
waterboarding.
not, it's
Because
simulating
actual waterboarding, which there's a extreme haunt movie right now where the writers were inspired by McCamey Manor and wrote it,
Oh my God.
called Extremity. It's out from Dread Central Presents right now. It's actually really good. There's actually moments in the beginning that are shot for shot, Blackout and McCamey Manor on purpose, and it's pretty amazing. They recreated it. They do a waterboarding scene. It's like, oh, that's actual waterboarding. What Russ was doing was you were wearing like a ski mask where you couldn't see through it because it was on backwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a kiddie pool of water, and then they dropped you in. You didn't even see that coming.
Right.
And then they put the metal bars on top of you, on top of the kiddie pool, so that you can barely get up. And then there was water being on top of that.
God.
My stomach like dropped thinking about that.
Yeah, that was the worst part, the water. I think everything else I'm okay with. The pushing, shove, all that other stuff I'm fine, but the water. Like, it took me a while to take a bath. Like, I didn't even want to take a bath. I didn't want to go swimming. I didn't want to do any of that. And then I finally got over it. But
How long ago did you do this?
it was Christmas in 2014, so about 4 years ago.
Okay. Do you ever still think about it? Like when you're laying down to go to sleep? Do you ever
I
think
do.
about it?
I always wonder. I'm like, well, what else is he doing in there now?
Yeah.
No, but do you think about your experience? Does it ever come back in a flashback? Do you ever have like a moment? I'll give you an example. When I go through like certain mazes that have a ball pit, and then I immediately go back to that weird version of a ball pit
I
that
know
he
what you're
had.
talking- Yeah, that was weird.
It was really
It
weird.
was strange. Yes, just water. It's the water. Whenever
Every time?
I think about it. Yeah. Like I recently went on vacation and everybody went snorkeling and I'm like, I'm good. Yeah.
Jordan actually has a good question. If he had a safe word, would you try it again?
I don't trust the safe word there.
Oh, damn.
I don't
yeah.
trust it. Not there.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, he does have a safe word now, and it's because law enforcement has forced him to have a safe word.
Right.
But you're right. You have to trust who's putting on an experience. What I love about Shar, what I love about Donald, what I love about 99% of the entire haunt world, what you love about them is they're empathetic people. You hear the expression, the scare that cares. They're getting just as much out of it as you are. It's a great connection. So if you can't trust that person that's doing it to you, then you can't really fully enjoy it. Weren't you like just tense from the moment it started? Like
I was nervous since it started. It started abruptly and roughly. But when we got in the van, I said, okay, it's going to probably slow down. And it just kept getting more intense and more intense as it went on. And then I realized, okay, I'm stuck. And I did sign up for it. So I didn't want to call myself a victim because I did sign up. But at the same time, it definitely felt that way.
Yeah, because you can look at the videos all you want, but the one thing you can't tell when you look at these videos is what does it feel like? What does it smell like? Was it?
Smell. Ooh, the smell. The smell is just awful. I mean, I'm a funeral director. I'm around dead bodies like day in, day out, and this is awful.
Right.
Wait, you're what?
I'm a funeral director.
Oh my god.
Well, funeral counselor, but yeah, that's the term for it.
Okay.
Right. No, it's like, there was a cut of the movie where I really did have every single person's job in the movie because everyone's job to me was like, what?
Yeah.
And you do what? To me, it's even more fascinating when you find that out, like what they do. Like that's the part of Grace's story that was so fascinating was that, that she was in, of course, now I can't even think of the job. She was in risk management.
Yes.
I know that was so funny.
I couldn't believe when she said that, and it's a good thing I have a beard because I can go and look serious, like risk management, because it was like, oh my God, you're in risk management. You went
so
3.
many risks.
Oh
Like,
my God. There's no management going on with those risks. So you're just throwing it all away. The blackout scenes.
I loved Blackout though.
You did?
Yes, I did
So
Blackout.
you've done extreme haunts after.
After, okay,
Okay.
so there was one called Heretic, and I wouldn't do it because I know it's intense, and everybody's told me, and I was scared of that one. But I
Oh,
did do
Shar had a
Blackout.
reaction to that.
Yeah.
afraid of that, but you did.
Well, I did Manor before. Like, if I would have known, I would have. Yeah, but I'm scared of that one because of what I've heard, and I just, I don't know. And so I did Blackout, and I really liked it. I think that Blackout is more. It was more of a, I guess, sexier type of thing. It was fun.
Everything that Russ was against for when he was saying.
And
I know
that's a crock of,
cussing.
because it's like it was fun. You got to like experience like something that you maybe have thought about before, and not, now you can be part of it and not feel bad.
Lexi called you an extreme haunt queen.
Huh?
Well, you were called an extreme haunt queen.
Oh,
yeah.
Extreme Haunt Queen.
Nice.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I like that title.
Yeah, no. So did you call the safe word in Blackout?
No.
Nice.
That's awesome. You were able, so, and did you feel like after you went through it, did you feel like you accomplished something, or how did it feel when it was finished for you?
I was like, it's over already. It was fun. It was a mobile one. It wasn't like it was one that they were doing like mobilely. They've said that the ones at a location are better. So I've never tried that yet.
Yeah, they did all kinds of different ones. Like during the off season when it's not Halloween season and Blackout is around, they go really much harder. They even did ones where they went into your home.
I heard about that.
Yeah, you had to leave the door unlocked, and you had to wait for
Oh,
them, and they
God.
would go inside your house. It's like 17th Door. When 17th Door did their Christmas hunt, that was total insanity. And I was not prepared for the amount of... I just wasn't prepared. So that was way more prepared for this version of the hunt, which I was like, hey, I totally went through this just fine. Like, the other one was like, fear factor exploding. Just like, it was so crazy. People were walking out, like, covered in stuff head to toe during the Christmas one. And I get it now. It's like, oh, you're here during Christmas time? Well, we're going to mess you up. I'm watching my language because your kids are here.
It's okay.
I like how he just waved his
Kid
hand and
says
said
it's
it's fine.
fine.
It's fine.
It's
Actually,
fine.
can you come over here for a second? Do you mind being on camera for a second? Is it okay?
It's fine.
They're not going to get in trouble.
They're not going to get in trouble.
Okay, so here's my question.
Come on, guys.
What did you guys, you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. So actually, we have to scoot over a little bit because you're not, that
Oh, he's
little
in-
camera.
he's on
You're in
camera.
there? Okay,
He's
he's
good.
in there. He's
Yeah.
in there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. What did you think when you were watching your mom go through McCamey Manor?
I'm just wondering, why are you doing this?
Same thing everyone did.
And what did you tell him?
I said for fun, but don't ever do it.
And what did you say?
I just said, okay then. It looks very extreme. I don't like roaches in my mouth. That's one thing.
And what did you think about? What do you have to say about all this?
Well, I thought I was actually really scary for my mom. I really thought I was really scary for my mom because she because like sometimes me and him actually scare my mom sometimes just easily.
Oh, so because it's so easy for you guys to scare your mom that you're like, why is she going to like the most frightening, terrifying place in the world?
Yeah.
And how do you guys scare your mom?
Well, we just usually hide in places that my mom don't know where we are.
It's exactly what Donald does to his wife. She loves that. You should really keep doing it. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, we got questions. Any questions? Let's see. A general question from Mia Summer. tips for someone who's never been to a haunt but wants to go.
Okay. So
like a rookie.
Shar, Donald, everyone can get on this
I
one.
love this really quick.
I
Someone
would
says,
say-
of course she can handle McCamey Manor. She's a mom.
That sounds very true.
My advice would be to do your research and start small, because I didn't. I wish I would have done that. If I would have researched some more and found out other haunts that exist that are a little more low intensity, I would have done those first.
Any suggestions on what those would be?
One that I really liked was Creep.
Oh,
That one. Oh my goodness, that one, Creep. What is it? Delusion.
So Creep LA, and their new show is called Awake. It's really cool. Look them up online, and what you'll find, their description is right on the money. They do a very good job of giving you the feeling of it without ruining anything. It's avant-garde, it's creepy. You have a feeling of something creepy happening, but it never crosses any lines. And you were saying Delusion.
Delusion's a good one too. I went to it years ago. I want to go back.
That's right. Shar was in Delusion.
Of course.
That's right.
I did Blackout.
Yeah. So, what are your tips to tell someone that's never been to a haunt before?
Me? Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. Start out low intensity, work your way up. I mean, I started going to Knott's when I was like 6th grade, I think. Earlier, you would take me backstage and have me meet all the monsters. So by the time I started going in the mazes, I was like, oh, I know these people.
I love that, by the way. That's like the coolest thing ever. Take your daughter to work day. She goes through a maze, she gets scared, and then you take her behind the scenes to meet all the greatest monsters.
It was one of my favorite things to do, like every Halloween season. But yeah, I'd say start off with Knott's. Knott's is such a classic.
Knott's is pretty easy to do.
And don't let your friends drag you on roller coasters the whole time.
Yeah, don't be stupid and spend 4 hours on a line at Knott's to go on a roller coaster. That's stupid. You can go beginning of January, you can walk on every ride with no lines.
Ditch your friends, do the mazes.
Ditch your friends. Yeah, it's really important who you go with. Like we went to Universal this year with like a good group. Oh, John was in the group. Of course. And that's really fun. If you go with a group or go with friends, but go with friends who like the same things as you. If you take somebody along that, I don't know, I don't know, that's so scary. Leave them at home. People that aren't into it, like I'll go with Rosie, but her dad, my husband, no. But she likes the same kind of thing, so I like to go with her. Yeah. But yeah, go with a group of people that are on the same level as you, like the same things. You have a comment?
Sorry. I would just say, jump in. If you have a love of it, if you appreciate it already, there's nothing that's going to stop you or anything that you won't appreciate. My wife never did haunts. I brought them to her. She hates them. It legitimately scares her. It's the best. I would actually say if you can, go with somebody who gets really scared, because that's what makes it very fun. John's great to go with. He just screams at everything. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, my wife falls to the ground and literally has panic attacks. And
That's not fun.
I think it's hilarious. And the best part is she does it for me. She doesn't do it for any other reason other than she knows I enjoy it and I want her there, but it's mainly so that I can laugh at her getting scared. So take that how you will. But home haunts are always good if you can find local ones. They're not usually that extreme, with present company accepted sometimes from the movie. But just go around. If you get startled and you get scared and you have heart palpitations, maybe not go. Other than that, keep in mind it's all in fun. All of this is to be fun and entertaining, and it's to appreciate the side that most of us don't ever get to experience during daily life.
Also, don't bring guys like Craig, not a haunt fan.
Not a haunt fan. Someone asked where he was.
Don't punch people.
Don't punch the monsters.
Someone
Keep your
asked where
hands
Craig
off.
was.
Yeah, someone wanted Craig here.
I would love
Do
for
your
Craig.
impression of Craig.
When I first met Craig, I was at my nephew's birthday party, and he said, I heard you're doing a haunted house movie for a Halloween. I said, yeah. He was like, I'm not a haunt fan. And I was like, not a haunt fan. I totally want to interview you for the movie. It took months before I could get him. But where's Craig right now? he's dreading the Halloween season. He even says, like, when it gets to be Halloween time, the horror films are on TV. He starts putting on more, like, DVDs. His wife loves going to haunts. And she went to your Donald's haunt over and over and over again. I have so much footage of her going through your maze over and over and over. Yeah, I think she would go through your maze.
Did she come with your dad?
Yep. She would go like 6 or 7 times. I mean, and just loving it. And she would film herself. She'd film the maze. You know, it's too funny. There needs to be like a haunt widow, you know, haunt outing where like all the different haunt widows get together and then they.
And bitch. How horrible October is.
Oh my God.
See you in November.
I say we throw them a picnic and then randomly we all get in costume.
Go get him.
Secret-
Craig. Don't
secret
do
scare.
it. Don't
Kids
do
drop
it.
down.
Oh my God. You don't want that.
Danny Patrick actually has a question for Donald, asking what his greatest accomplishment in all his years of haunting is. Greatest accomplishment.
Great question. Let's.
Danny
Think I gotta
Patrick,
go
you
first.
got it. Danny Patrick, email me.
Greatest accomplishment in haunting. So for the premiere of Haunters, the West Coast premiere of Haunters, that was done at the Egyptian Theater. Within a time frame of about 6 hours, I built a 1,500 square foot haunt with 14 scare actors that John Murdy went through and said it was awesome.
John Murdy.
nice.
Say who he is.
John Murdy is the Universal Halloween Horrors Night maze designer and producer, I guess. He's an awesome guy, but that was a big badge on my shoulder. Plus, the best part about that was it was really frustrating and hard, and I can't believe we pulled it off. But you know, like I think I was awake for 37 hours. But we ran out of people. Like we got everybody through the maze, so Shar started grabbing people off the street and putting them through our maze. And
Off of Hollywood Boulevard.
off of Hollywood Boulevard
No idea.
on a Thursday in September. And the best part about it was ever since I stopped doing Nightmare on Loganberry, you lose that Halloween feel. And the good thing about Halloween is that you get people who don't necessarily want to go through haunts. Haunters are great. They know what to expect. They can usually say, and it's still fun. It's still good. But to get the people who are like, I don't know, this isn't, and then they have to go through, like their friends force them to, we scared the hell out of a lot of people that night, and it was very fun. That was awesome.
I think James can confirm it's fun to go through with someone who is like maybe not super pumped. I did my first horror nights this year. 'Cause
Yeah.
we went. I loved it. I had so much fun, but I was terrified of haunted houses. I don't like being startled. I like being scared, but being startled for some reason is very difficult for me. But we went because we were doing. We did some like press stuff there, so I was like, well, I gotta go, and I had so much fun. But I think James maybe had more fun just going through with me because I'm genuinely scared the whole time. But then we went back. We went back another night.
Did you like Poltergeist?
Oh my God, it was
yeah.
gorgeous. Our favorite was the Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we went
that's
through
our
that,
favorite.
what, 3 times,
those
I
were my
think?
2 favorites.
Yeah, I loved
one on
it.
the bottom, one on the top.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, if you haven't done haunts before, if you're like me and you're genuinely freaked by them, I went through some of those houses 3-4 times maybe. And it was my first time doing anything like that, so I loved it. I could tell, I was in good hands. Watching this was like, there's people working in here that care. They're not gonna let me get hurt or anything, and it's for fun. Yeah, I
I'm
loved
gonna
it.
have to stop the movie playing on the stream itself. We'll still have it here, but they won't be able to see exactly where we are. It's just a little taxing for the laptop. Just
Okay,
so
no problem.
everyone
Oh,
knows,
damn.
yeah. Sorry, bye, Russ.
Yeah, and it's also good to go to look up independent haunts. There's a lot of great independent haunts that are out
Now
there.
I wanna, it is a little bit like it's a drug. I'm like, I wanna go check out all these other ones now. Like,
Well, you should definitely check out like Reign of Terror. Like what 105 rooms now.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're massive rooms. It's gorgeous. It's
The thing
incredible.
is, in this area in Los Angeles, Orange County, we have the most amount of different types of haunts. There's just a tremendous, like you can go haunt a day. You can go a haunted day, or, it doesn't necessarily have to be a haunt. It could be a haunted show or, something else. But you can do every day in October and even in September, right up until the first weekend in November. you can find stuff to do, and that's what's really cool about this area. Like I did haunting when I lived in New York before I came here, and there was like when I started, it was Halloween weekend, and that was it. And then it would expand. Like then a couple of years later, we do like a couple days more, and then two weekends. And then when I left, it was like 3 days, and then like a week. And now you can find haunts every day. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's incredible. Any questions from?
Oh, yes, we do. We have a question from E.A. Kakowski, who asks Shar's favorite makeup that she's ever had done for a haunt.
Ooh.
Ever had done or ever done yourself?
Either way, I didn't write the specific verbiage.
I like to do my own zombies. I do a pretty good zombie at this point after so many years. But yeah, that's my zombie.
Oh, your head comes off?
Yeah, well, half my head opens up.
I was like,
So
wow, that's impressive.
My brains, whatever's left, comes out.
There's a picture of that for a moment in Haunters. You see a quick picture of it. Flag that person too.
Yeah, it's on my
Oh.
website, sharmayer.com, if you want to see some of the.
Right.
What's that
or my-
website?
Sharmayer.com. Also, Instagram, Shar Mayer. I got a ton of pictures of me in makeup, all different makeups and masks. But yeah, I like that because I did it myself. But I like the makeup I'm wearing right now at 17th Door too. The psychiatrist. I like that old creepy lady makeup. It's really easy to fall right into that kind of part these days. What makeup do you like of mine, Ro?
I really like
The head? So the head thing I made myself out of paper towels, and I just made it because I was getting called to do zombie stuff with like I live in Orange County. Oh, can you come to LA in 3 hours and be a zombie? Sure. Well, you can't really be a good zombie in 3 hours with driving. So that's something I pre-made so that I could just throw it on my head, and then I just do the rest of my face makeup, and boom, I'm ready to go. Zombied out.
I also like how you use cereal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's always fun to watch.
Yeah,
you
cereal monsters are fun. And just using latex and cereals, like frosted, like flakes, or even I like using also cereal Cheerios because you put latex down, you put latex over that, and then shade it. It kind of looks like pock marks on your face, and it really gives you like an interesting texture.
I saw her doing the cereal on her face for at Fantastic Fest when we were showing our film there last year, and it looks so gruesome when it's on your face. The texture of it. I think the first time I ever saw cereal being used ever in a horror film was in I think it was Poltergeist Part 3 when the hand punches through the face, and I was like, what is that crazy stuff? And in Fangoria magazine they had a still frame that showed that it was cornflakes. Yep, we looked at that together. Well, I had that Fangoria, and Donald and I were looking at that in the 6th grade together. And I was like, look at this. Look at they use cereal for this part. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
It's a Dick Smith trick. He's a makeup artist. And
Is he?
yeah.
Dick Smith, he's a makeup artist?
Donald is being funny right now. And by the way, the charity is anti-bullying. Just as a reminder to the folks out there. All right, so any other questions?
We got, let's see. Audrey Elise asks, does anything scare you, Shar?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I love going to haunted houses. As long as I'm in the mindset, I'm going to a haunted house, I'm going to go get scared. I go through and I scream, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I scream at everything. People pop out. I love jump scares. I love that adrenaline kick. But I got to be like in the mindset, like I'm going to go do this now. If I'm walking through my own haunt and people pop up and they're trying to scare me backstage, that really doesn't do anything for me. But if I'm mentally ready, then I can go. You just saw the picture on the screen. I wanted to hand it back to John. That was a picture of John and Donald as kids.
Okay, so Donald, get over here. Get over here. So I met Donald in the 6th grade, my first day at a new school, and I, of course, in my backpack have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and Fangoria magazines and a star log. I was really prepared for school. And my mom was like, what are you bringing to school? I'm like, well, I'm sure if there's one other kid that knows anything about any of this, we're going to be best friends for life. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. And my mom also said, oh, also make sure that don't talk all the time, let other people talk. I'm like, okay, I'll do that too. And which it's amazing that I could, I'm good at making a documentary because I'm good at getting other people to talk because I talk a lot. But I'm there in the 6th grade. I take out the Fangoria, and immediately Donald lights up. And
Nice.
It was even funnier because we're sitting from a distance. I don't know anybody, so I'm sitting by myself, and I see him actually Pama-nining like Freddy Krueger stabbing somebody in the neck, and I'm like, "What the hell is this kid doing?" And I walk over and I see his Fangoria, and I'm like, "Did we just become best friends?" Yep. And that was
friends for life.
And ever since then, we went. I think that night we went and watched Night of the Living Dead 3.
We watched
no, Revenge of the Living Dead.
We watched Return of the Living Dead Part 2 after
nice.
Here's what happened. It wasn't that night because it was that night when we watched that movie was right after we did The Haunt together. So they were telling us that there's a fall.
Like a month later, yeah.
A month later, they had the fall carnival, but the first day of school that I met you, I went to your house afterwards. That was the first day we met. I went to your house because you went to show me all your Garfields. Because you had like 100. He was wearing a Garfield sweater at the
I
time.
had an extensive Garfield collection.
You want to see my Garfield?
The entire world, the Garfield universe. It was everything. I looked at that too, and I was like, "This is really disturbing." and he kept saying, "Let's just be quiet because my brothers are crazy. I don't want them to hear us." And of course, at one point, Daniel did hear us, and then he comes into the room. I didn't know who he was, and he's wearing a mask. And I thought, oh, he's just going to scare his brother. It'll be funny. Watch what happens. And then he attacks us both. And it was completely crazy. And I mean, the duct tape came out. Lawn darts were being thrown in the air. He starts swinging the bat around. And I went home describing this to my parents, and they were like, yeah, right. Okay. No one believed me. And I remember telling you, there's no way I can come back to this house. It was too much, My brother and I would try to kill each other, I'm sure, several times, but nothing like what you experienced growing up, and...
Yeah. It's weird because it's like a completely different time, and like when it's hard to... shit rolls downhill. So my eldest brother gave it to my middle brother gave it to me, and it went in a vicious circle. And yeah, we were a violent, angry family. But like that's what made me who I am today. I have a great wife. I have an awesome son. I have I love this. I love hanging. I got great best friends. I guess the really weird part about it is I never felt unloved. And I guess that's the strangest part is like, even though they were beating the hell out of me, I never went like, wow, they must really hate my guts. It was always like, yep, that's our family. Like we just felt, I don't know. I'm sure it would have been a case study if anybody knew about it. But yeah, it was unbelievable at the time. I'm sure Child Protective Services would have taken us all away. But it was what it was, and I certainly don't play a victim, and I don't hate them for it, and I don't even blame them for it. Like it was just the way we were.
Your past, it made you who you are.
Yeah, and I'm finally comfortable enough to the point where I don't hate myself. So, good.
But I'll say, but something I will say though, we had so much fun in growing up together. When we did work that maze together, you were the dead army guy. I was Freddy Krueger in the most wearing a skeleton shirt. I don't know what I was thinking. It was completely ridiculous.
It was hard to source props back then, John.
Yeah, now you can get this stuff anywhere. It's like Halloween Town. You can go to Halloween Town. But we did do the best lip sync of all time in elementary school.
God. Oh, wow.
Do tell.
So John is the theater kid. He's the kid who's been in commercials, and he does acting and everything. And this is the greatest acting he's ever pulled in his life. We decided that we're going to do Wooly Bully for Freddy Krueger.
Wooly Bully.
Wooly Bully.
What?
You know
The Freddy
Wooly
Krueger gang,
Bully,
yes.
bitch.
Do you know the Elm Street gang?
It was
There's a
from
record.
19 from yes,
We
yeah.
were watching that. Remember?
Yes, there's a record. There's a record you play.
Yeah. And it has all
Oh.
Freddy Krueger songs on it.
And
And
I thought we were looking at that. Maybe I went off on my
And
own.
Oh no, that was one of your late night Freddy Googling
Robert Englund
sessions,
as Freddy
huh?
Krueger doing all the hits from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Oh my
I'm serious.
God.
Wow.
Hey everybody, it's Freddy, and he's coming to get ya. And it's like, and they're doing Wooly Bully. Oh my God, it's so great.
Was it Robert Englund?
Yes. Yeah,
Of course it
Robert Englund.
was.
And John goes, look, you can't possibly pull off Freddy Krueger. I can do all the mannerisms. You're going to have to be the woman. And I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, you're right. For the good of the show, I have to be. Now, I'm still a foot taller than him at this stage and easily 150 pounds heavier. I ended up wearing his mom's nightgown. And I had to sell the outfit. I had the high heel shoes.
Oh my God.
And ironically, there is a video of this somewhere. Yeah, thank God. Thank God. But yeah, that was
I just want to say, I love that you're secure enough to be the woman, but you are secure enough to have your lady be taller than you. And I really respect that.
And to be honest, we sold it. Like we won the contest.
We did it. A lot of those kids hated us, so that's how good we were.
Yeah.
They were just
all the parents loved us. All the kids hated us.
Oh, there was a whole group of kids that did a whole team thing. Their parents showed up. They're like, well, they're going to win. And then the other parents went, no, they were way better than you. So
It's like the end of a movie.
oh, God. Yeah. Terrible. Any other questions?
Oh, I got lots. Bedlam Beersy asks Donald how it feels to see Tom Cruise and Hugh Jackman using props that he's made.
Oh, that's
Prize.
great.
That gets a prize.
It's weird. That was at the later stages of my prop making days, but I guess the real, it's you don't even know what features you're working on. They're always untitled by the time that, we're so much far in pre-production that it's like untitled Tom Cruise movie or something like that. Tom Cruise was weird because when Minority Report came out, he was going through the divorce with Nicole Kidman. So it was like we were getting weird instructions of like, don't give him direct eye contact, don't ask him any questions. And we're just trying to make sure that his ass doesn't get singed by like MAP gas. So it's like, well, how do we make that a statement? It's like, oh, no, don't ask about, gossipy stuff. Hugh Jackman was awesome. That crossbow weighs about 12 pounds fully loaded, which is roughly the same as an M60 machine gun.
And that's from Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. That was very scary for us because actors notoriously don't want to hold heavy things. So we're like, man, we really hope he's okay with it. He came in, he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't know he was Australian at the time. Like, that wasn't common knowledge. It's like, oh, yeah, man, this thing's great. Like, this is this will be cool. He wasn't really like a big star. I knew he did Wolverine, but it's like, you met so many people that you didn't even realize were famous. Like, Tom Cruise was very short. He came up to like my nipple, I felt. And I'm like, that's really weird.
How close?
Yeah. How do you know that exact benchmark?
You know that measurement so confidently.
Well, I feel
comes up to my nipple.
I feel that all
to
people
nipple
should
height,
know where their nipples
exactly.
are at all times, just for general perspective. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Obviously, I wish I could still be doing it, and the cards didn't play out that way. But like I said, my life's going great, so I'm not going to complain.
Awesome. Greg Harrington wants to know why the video of you two in the talent show wasn't on the bonus features of the DVD for
I can't
Honors.
find that video.
Oh, that's a
I
shame.
cannot find that
You would
video.
have done it. You would have done it.
He probably would have.
Look,
Nobody would have believed it.
I wanted to put that scene where Donald's out in front of his mother's house with his wife, having that argument, discussion. So that she really didn't want to be in the film at all. She just didn't want to do it. That was my birthday. So like my birthday present, please just let me do one interview. That was a 38-minute back and forth that is so, I really wanted to put all of that in the bonus features, but you find out with bonus features, you need to get lawyers to look at everything, insurance on everything, and the longer you make it, the more expensive it becomes. So like, then I kept thinking about Lord of the Rings. I'm like, they really had a bigger budget. So eventually one of these days, I'd love for that whole part to come out because the back and forth between you and your wife is just perfect. And she was a really great sport. And I'm glad that She's no longer upset with me and enjoys the movie.
Oh no, she still hates you. She still hates you.
She's not. All right, well, it's confirmed. Donald's wife hates me.
And Lexi De Saracho asks Donald what he looks for in his actors,
That's a good one.
or in his haunt actors.
So generally, that's more of a Shar question if you ask me. But
Well,
for a good
both of
home
you,
haunt, for a good home haunt, mainly to show up is very important. and it's hard. It's hard work when you are asking people to scare. If you've already been a scare actor, you know how physically demanding it is, especially get the good scares, and that takes a lot of dedication. I always feel the way I build my haunts is to set people up to succeed. So the people who aren't as experienced, you put them in scares that like drop panels or high startles or anything like that, so that they can really get they get the scare. They get to see the people be afraid of them. That's when you catch them. That's when you know they'll be back every year until you stop. I had, by the time my haunt was only 2,000 square feet, my last year I had 40 people volunteering for me. All of them were in the maze. All of them were scaring. It was like we calculated it's like a scare every 1.3 feet.
Wow.
But, like if somebody wants to do it, give them a shot. They don't have to be the best. Partner them up with somebody who is good, who they can see on how the tactics work. It is a team sport. A lot of people don't remember that. You don't always get to be the cool big scare. I mean, I didn't have much of a choice because I can't hide very well when I'm this size in a maze. But you have a lot of different positions like tricksters and rabbits. Rabbits are like squirrely little crazy people who are great distractions for when you hit from another side. You've got the bears, which are just giant people who can scream really loud. I had my closer was actually in the band Axe Slasher, and he's a grindcore singer, and nobody can scream like that guy. he could just run at you singing his songs, and people would run away. It was awesome.
So great. Yeah, he was the sliding door monster.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
But Shar, the scene that was just on was the most emotional scene that I filmed with you, where you were.
Oh, I was wondering when that was coming
Yes,
up. Yeah.
it was on, and what is it like for you to watch that scene? I know what it's like for me to watch the scene. What is it like for you to watch that scene?
It's the scene where I'm crying because I'm in a lot of pain. Yeah, I go through that all the time. I just did. I just haunted this weekend, even though I was trying to take it easy. I still need a day afterwards, just lay flat and try to straighten my back out. I'm in a lot of pain. It's hard, and I don't mind telling people about it. It's just, you want? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Let her have a seat there.
Adrenaline is an amazing thing. You can do stuff, and like in that one scene where it was a long day of shooting. You were shooting a lot of actors, and I was the last one. And, just waiting around and sitting and standing, it was a long day, and it was already hurting my back. And then once I put the makeup on, my adrenaline kicks in, and I'm ready haunting, and we did a lot of running around and scaring. And then it's over. And then the adrenaline starts settling down, and then my back starts killing me again. So, yeah, it hurts. And I mean, I don't come out and go, hey, I've been hurt, and I want to tell you my story about how I'm hurt. But, in talking about all the different things I was talking about, it's one of those things that is part of my story. Okay, so I'm in pain all the time, but that doesn't stop me. I don't let anything stop me. I just keep on haunting. Every year I say, is this going to be my last year? It is not. I'm going to do this year. I got another year in me. 1 year at a time, but I keep on going.
I love that.
So great. Any questions?
So many questions. We had a.
I'll go short
There's a whole
ones.
contingency asking about Heidi's lipstick. Like Karen Red wants to know about your lipstick, and they really like it. They really like it. Is it a?
Mac, I don't know the color.
It's Mac.
It's a Mac.
Ooh, is it like a Mac matte?
Yeah,
color?
it's a
Oh,
Mac
man,
matte
those
color.
are really good.
It's
Those will
a
stick
Mac matte
forever.
color.
I can also give a ringing endorsement too.
There you go.
Lipsticks.
You guys asked. There it is.
It is really
Let's grab another question, but at the same time, we have a friend here too.
Ooh.
Andre
yeah.
Gower.
Oh yeah, he just stopped
yeah,
his
he
tracks.
just heard his name.
Hey.
So Andre Gower is here from Monster Squad. Oh
Ooh.
my God! Come here for a second. Come here.
Yeah, please.
Come and hang
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Send someone out of a seat?
Okay, one second. So, Andre Gower, I saw Monster Squad when it was in theaters when I was a kid. My grandfather took me to see it opening day. And actually, he took me to see Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. And my grandfather was so upset with Gwildor. He's like, what is Gwildor crap? He's like, we have to go to another movie. And he's like, Monster Squad, let's see that. And we loved it so much. And I watched it, I think, 3 days in a row. And Donald and I tried to form our own Monster Squad, but nobody would join it. And so, so we had our own thing. It was the worst of the time. And now you have this amazing documentary, Wolfman's Got Nards.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the plug. That's amazing. I was coming to celebrate Haunters, which is rad. Yeah, so it's we're on the festival circuit now. Like we all are, and enjoying that. And it's like people that connect with something like scare houses and haunters and your guys' places. We kind of wanted to tell the story of the stories of why people connected with the favorite thing that they liked, whether it was their favorite movie or their favorite song or their time in their life, all told through the lens of Monster Squad fans. And it turned out pretty good, so it was fun.
That's the thing, when you investigate a subculture, you find the most passionate and caring people, and they have so many great stories to share. We'll continue with first a question.
Oh, yeah, we got a question, actually, a legit one for Heidi from Blas Notch. I mean, the lipstick one was legit too, but Blas Notch wants to know, Heidi, are you a scare actor, or would you ever consider being one?
I would love to, but I'm not.
Okay.
I work too much. My Lord. But if I didn't, I even thought about, well, maybe I should save vacation hours and do that, but I would have loved to do that.
Tom says
I
that's
know
what he did.
my son wants to do that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, her son says he wants to be a
Yeah.
scare actor.
I work full time, and I'm at 17 majority of the run.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
She works full time, and she's got part-time jobs, and she does.
She's got kids too, so
I've got 3 kids.
what, Rosie?
But I would love to. I mean, if there was something I could volunteer at, like in October, like I would love to. But
Oh, well, the message is out there.
Any other questions before we move on?
Yep. Let's see. Oh, Luke's Spooks had an interesting question. I guess this would be for anyone who does haunts. What do you think is more important about a scare? The look, including the makeup and the effects, or how the scare is done? Like, what's more effective?
It's a lot of things.
They go hand in hand.
As a scare actor, there's different types of haunts and different types of things you could do. You can go for pop scares. Donald was talking about tag teaming. I do a lot of things nowadays more with acting. So you have like an atmosphere character. So there's a lot of different things that go into it. Donald?
So this really comes. One thing that always affects everything is budget. Everybody wants where we are right now is amazing. If I would turn this into a haunt, no, because it's way too much money that's going into the decor without enough going into the scare and the acting. So always look at your budget, and also what's your objective? Do you want to be a scary house? Do you want to be a cool looking graveyard, or do you want to have 5 zombies? It really comes down to what you want to do. Mine, I have a really scary haunted house. Mine is very minimal. I do props, but it's minimal because I almost never have time to finish them. But everybody, they'll start making stuff up. They'll be like, "Oh man, that fire-breathing dragon was great," and you're like, "What are you talking about? There was no fire-breathing dragon." When you startle people, and especially if you hit them sequentially so that they're off put, they don't even know which direction to go, they're going to remember it as being the best haunted they ever went to, in my opinion. So I love set pieces. I love Universal. I love Not Scary Farm. Anybody who's got a budget, I always appreciate it. It makes me a happy child, but I always go for the scare.
Yeah. That being said, there's also so many great experiences that didn't cost any money. Like the first year of Alone was in almost total darkness. You had a flashlight and you were walking through a weird dreamlike thing. And it wasn't about the scares. It was about the kind of dreamlike feeling, except for when you left and you thought it was over. And then all of a sudden someone on the street grabbed you and you thought it was completely finished. You were in an alleyway. So it's interesting to see all the different ways people can take this stuff. Any other questions?
Yeah, Liz asks, how would you change something for deaf or blind people in haunts? Like, if you had to play to different senses, is there a way to accommodate?
Let's talk about that.
Rosie
Can talk about that because here's the thing. It's so interesting, and then come back, Andre, too. But here's the thing. Is I noticed some deaf people at 17th Door, and that was really interesting.
So many of them.
Oh, cool.
So, for whatever reason, there's a really, really big deaf community in Orange County, and they all, or not all of them, but a lot of them love coming to haunts. And so last year we got this huge group that came to 17, thinking that we were Sinister Point,
'Cause we're in the same
we're
building.
in their old location.
That's a
so,
very different experience. But
yes.
Okay, mark them for a prize.
Yeah.
You know, 17, it's like, it is full contact, there is a waiver, it's an extreme haunt. Sinister is an excellent experience, but it's not as hands-on. So having to communicate that and like make sure that they know the safe word, they know what they're getting into. Luckily, we have somebody on her cast who is like, is Eddie a sign language interpreter or something? Yeah.
I saw
so,
that at the end of the Amazing
yeah,
Rock.
so we taught like, this is the safe word, or like, this is mercy in
cool.
sign language. And I was collecting the waivers that night, and I know a tiny little bit of sign language, so I was able to be like, green light means you go through the door, and it worked. And they came out and they had an amazing time. So that
They were all this, mercy.
yeah. So like even, I don't know, it just comes down to the actor like in the moment. Because if you're a good haunter, you'll be able to scare somebody whether or not they're missing like one or more of their senses.
Wheelchairs.
Let me just tell you, I just got 2 mercies from some people who were deaf on Saturday night, I think it was. Yeah, I got my 2 mercies. All right. Yeah, wheelchairs. Well, 17th Door is wheelchair accessible.
Oh, great.
Even that other room, most of it. Right. There's one room that isn't.
Actually, in the ball pit room last year, we did have a couple people who were in wheelchairs who decided they were going to get themselves out of the wheelchairs onto the ledge, and then the ledge leans forwards and dumps you into the ball pit.
That was last year.
That was last year.
don't do that.
But I'm sitting in this room, like, watching this happen. I'm just like, all right, I got to hand it to this person. You're like the most dedicated person I've ever seen, that you're willing to get out of your wheelchair so you can get dumped into a ball pit in this haunt.
And what's your expression for people in wheelchairs? Shar always would tell me that you scare the chair. Because you don't remember saying this to me?
No.
Oh my God, this was 4 years ago. You told me this. You said when people go to like a theme park haunt or a haunt, there's some people who are afraid to scare the person in the chair.
Now I know what you're talking about.
And your feeling is, look, they paid to be here.
When we were at Knott's, we used to grab the people in the wheelchairs and scare them and then take them away. And then the people they were with, they were like, wait. And we just take them. Because they're there to have fun, too, and they want to have fun. We'd take them and have fun. Same thing with blind people. I've had blind people, they like to feel your mask, what you look like.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then you see the same people year after year. So you know them, so that you just go right up to them, and then they feel your mask. And they know who you are by your mask or your makeup and stuff. So, we're equal opportunities scaring family. People who want to have fun and want to get scared, it doesn't matter if they're on wheelchair, crutches, blind, deaf, they're all going to scream.
Yeah, if they're there, then obviously they want to be there.
And I'll touch on the third with mental health. Our biggest fan was a girl who had Down syndrome on the block, Sydney. And every day that she saw us building, she would come over and start asking us questions about what it's going to be and tell us on how much she wasn't going to get scared. I'm not going to get scared. I know what that is now. No worries. And she came back every day and every day. And finally, the day would come and we'd have to coax her to come in because now the lights are off and everything's going crazy. But we would always let her go in first. And we would not take it easy on her. We would try to scare the absolute bejesus out of her. And she got scared. She got really scared. Every year she'd come back, what are you going to do next year? Is it going to be bigger? Is it going to be better? And her parents got the biggest kick out of it because everybody is afraid. I think people just want to be treated like everybody else.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the scares. Like You can cater them more to be handy accessible, i.e., everything. But yeah, we scared everybody equally. It didn't matter if you were a child or an old man, unless you specifically said that you had a heart condition. There was one funny thing on the last year of Nightmare on Loganberry. This guy was talking about how he refused to go through my haunt. And John's talking to him, and I hear that he's doing that, so I'm gonna do a pop scare from up behind him. And John's like, well, why won't you go through his haunt? And he goes, oh, I have a heart condition. And you see me stop mid-thing, and I take a right turn and immediately book out.
You know what? Hold your thought for a second, because we're in the extreme part here.
Okay.
But don't forget what you're going to say about heart conditions and scaring. I definitely want Heidi to come back here real quick. Any questions about McCamey Manor or extreme haunting? Sorry about that, Shar. Any questions about that on there, James?
Actually, surprisingly, not a lot of questions about McCamey. Just people seem to just really love everyone who's
Then
here
that's
in the
fine.
room. Yeah,
Then
everyone's
that's
just
fine.
really
Okay, cool.
They're calling Shar Queen
Okay,
and
so-
saying
so-
that they, yeah.
So Shar,
like,
Shar
everyone-
answer that question, and then mark that other person for a prize. Then we should start telling people what the other prizes are, so we can give those away.
Oh yeah, do you want your list?
Yeah, we have the list.
Oh, cool, yeah.
But answer that question.
And no, I was just going to say about people with special needs who come to the haunt. It's true. Like at Knott's, we used to get people, we used to work pre-scare dinner. We did that, I think, 8 years. And we'd get every year the same people. You'd see them every single year. And we had a couple people with special needs, and they would just come and have like the greatest time. And, it's just everybody's the same. If you like haunt, if you want to be scared, it doesn't matter how you are or anything. It's all the same to us. We'll take a scare from anyone.
Who is Chelsea asks what everyone's favorite scare of their career is. Do they have a specific memory of a scare that you just think about and you're like, I hope I can get that kind of scare again one day?
When I scared John out of his chair when I was doing Play Dead.
Oh yeah, John here.
That was the first time I ever met you. First time I ever met Shar was during Play Dead, which is the greatest live show I've ever seen in my life.
It is.
Todd Robbins, who is telling true scary stories about real life murderers, and as he's telling you the stories, he's doing these illusions, and it's you can't even call it a magic show. It's just like this crazy night of theater, and then at one moment, Shar appears out of nowhere, and the second she popped out, and there were already some other scares that were going on. There were times where they turned the lights off, and all of a sudden people are touching you in the seats, and things are happening all around you. But when Shar appeared out of nowhere, I jumped out of my seat screaming. It scared me so bad. I mean, it was really. And then afterwards, she's like, "I'm the one who scared you," because I said I was really close. So you could have. I'm sure you saw me freak out.
Heard you. Screaming.
Donald, what was the scare
Donald,
of
you
your
have
career?
one
Yeah, Donald, do you
What
have
was your
a
one big scare?
specific scare?
Let's see. It would probably be one of the first years I did Nightmare on Loganberry. This is what really hooked me into doing it. Was my brother would be the decoy. He was the dummy in the yard. Like, this is before we did mazes or anything. And I came up with this hilarious idea that I'm going to throw severed heads at people. But I didn't want to, we lived in Orange County, which is the land of Sioux. So I'm like, okay, I will attach a bungee cord to my arm. I play water polo. I played water polo. So I could throw these at about 45 miles an hour. And it really scared a lot of people. And I thought I did a really good job of attaching the head. This poor 12-year-old kid was like, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I threw my severed head. It ripped clean off the cord and nailed him dead center chest. And he let out, now to his credit, he let out a squeak, but he caught the head. And I'm like, that kid's going to be received. And that guy now plays for the Green Bay Packers. But that kid stood there for a good solid 30 seconds, not realizing what happened. He was in shock, but he didn't complain. So I'm like, I'm sorry. That was like, okay, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life.
That was a good one, Chelsea. And Chelsea, And Chelsea's
Chelsea.
awesome.
Yep.
She's a great scare actor. She's at 17th Door.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who is Chelsea?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a great.
Oh, cool.
It's funny. Like I recognize most people their screen names so often because I see them. They're on live streams all the
that's
time.
great.
You know what? I definitely want to give her a prize.
Got it.
For that great question. You know what? I'm going to give her this one. This is the Mystic Museum prize. It's a tote. It's a good tote.
Nice,
This is the Mystic
Chelsea,
Museum.
got a
Where we're
tote.
at right now, it is the Mystic Museum. And inside is their current show that they have, Slashback.
Oh, that's so cool. She gets that too?
Yeah, well, yes.
Oh,
and
okay.
what's inside? There's all
What?
kinds of stickers and pins and everything else inside here.
Oh, wow. It's like a
Slashback
Russian
video,
nesting doll
like,
of prizes.
for people that didn't see the beginning of the stream, watch the beginning of it because you'll see we were showing off the Slashback video display. Slashback is a tribute to everything that I love growing up about video stores. We grew up. Yes, we grew up loving this stuff. And it's like if a video store only had horror films, and it's
Yeah.
like the dream of every that.
It's like
one
the
of those-
section of the video store that I remember because that's the only section I would go to when I was young. Is going to that and just seeing all these covers is like, yeah, this takes me back.
You got to visit the Mystic Museum. I love the Shining show that they had here, where the photo op was behind the door that's smashed open. You could be like Jack Nicholson. They're always doing something amazing here, and this was put on by the Mystic Museum and Ryan Turek of Blumhouse and Shockwaves Podcast. Shockwaves Podcast, which has recently approved Haunters. It's a Shockwaves approved movie. That means a lot to me. I'm very excited about that. We got the sticker. I'm putting it everywhere, wherever I can put the sticker. So this is Chelsea's.
Cool. Good job,
And
Chelsea.
I'll cross that off the list. Any other questions?
Last one that I have here. Well, I have two. I live for glitter, not for you. Fun name. Asks if you guys wear earplugs while you're haunting to protect your hearing.
I don't because I'm already deaf from going to too many punk shows in the 70s. But of course. But we do have earplugs sometimes, haunters, where I personally want to hear people screaming. So
Okay.
you know, I don't use it. But if you're in a closed-in house, depending on how loud it is, you might want to use earplugs, but not me.
Donald?
Donald doesn't wear earplugs.
I am also deaf. Between both my ears, I maybe have one good one, so no. I see the need for it. I could understand, but like I said, it's a disconnect. If you ask me, it's like wearing gloves when you're trying to, finger paint. You don't get the same.
I like that. That's a fun analogy.
You had to wear earplugs in McCamey Manor.
I did. I had a lot of weird things there, but I remember it was like kind of like headphones, was it? Headphones and the mask? I don't remember very well.
Oh,
So
kind of
y-
sensory deprivation?
Sensory deprivation, which is interesting because I'd never seen that used in anything like that before, and now I see that all over the place. I saw that Alone was doing that this year at a convention. Yeah, definitely come talk about it. Actually, Jim, if you could write down if someone could write down how many prizes we've given away, so we can start letting them know what they got too, and we know which ones are local.
So at Scarelay this year, we have Alone, who's a really well-known, really amazing and beautiful, extreme and immersive haunt, I would say. It's a good combination of both. But they've had a couple small shows at Scarelay, including the first immersive extreme haunt that I ever did in my life. And that was just such an amazing experience in 2014. But this year, they've been in Australia. They've been underground for a little bit. They came back at Scarelay and they did a guided meditation in the middle of this gigantic Halloween convention. And the way that they did this was everybody went and checked out these headphones. And the headphones kind of gave you directions to make your way through the crowd and find the space at the back of the convention center. And when I went, it was a hour-long guided meditation where most of it involved just laying on the ground, relaxing, thinking about your place in the world. And it was on I was working at the convention, so it was a really nice break. I really appreciated that. I thought it was hilarious though because it was the same time as the Universal panel, and I'm hearing all of this cheering, but I have the headphones on still, and we're just very calm music, very, very calm atmosphere over here. And I hear all this screaming, and I'm like, oh, wow, they must have introduced something. It was Slash, like, on stage, and everybody was cheering for him. And I'm over here with my headphones and my spooky meditation. So there's definitely, like, two types of people who go to this kind of thing. But anyway, midway through, they ask us to all stand up and to join hands and to begin circling around, and then to break the circle, head out into the crowd, come back, head out into the crowd again. And then we were given the instruction to make eye contact with somebody without the headphones, just somebody walking around the convention center, and to grab their hand and to smile at them and to bring them back into the fold. And I just happened to run into John. And I had headphones on. I could not hear a thing. So I just I walk up to him, I just grab his hand, and you're like trying to tell me something. You're like, no, I'm busy. I can't do this.
I'm with my nephew, and then my nephew's like, what's going on?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, you come with me. You come with me. And so probably about the 30 or 40 people doing this experience, we all drag our newfound victims back into the circle. And then we're instructed to join hands and make a circle around these people who have no idea what's going on. They are so confused. And just move in closer and closer and closer until they can't get out. And then just to stand there and smile at them and welcome them and make them feel safe and make them feel happy. Did it work?
It was hilarious. It was a thing with Alone that I love so much. They're not going to be around this season. But look for them in around January. And that's what I've been hearing. If you have the chance to go to Alone, do it. Alone is different every single year, and every year they do something that you just can't believe it happened to you. I mean, one year it was the weirdest job interview of all time. There was the strangest job interview you could ever go on. One year it was just going all over Los Angeles.
Same with the Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, in Australia they did it during Valentine's Day, and it was called they did this Valentine's Day, spend it alone. Any other questions?
Yeah, we got a bunch, and it looks like we have enough prizes for a number of people.
Let's give out some prizes.
Yeah. Maybe let's do some prizes, and then we'll fill in the rest
Let's
with
do that.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah,
so some people may be waiting to go to bed on the East Coast. Maybe they can see what they've got. I think the
give 'em
documentary is that.
That's it.
written,
Look at the
produced
credits.
by John Schnitzer right there.
I love the smoke.
So yeah, we've reached the end of the documentary, but we can do this. So I don't know how you want to assign who gets what.
Well, I tell you what, if they're local,
Okay.
then we can get them to some experiences.
That's right. Okay, let's go through the list. I know that Liz, who asked about the deaf or blind people doing haunts, she's not local. She's in Texas. So what?
How about
what do you have for her?
how about the DVD with autographed DVD with 30 minutes of bonus features?
All right.
Autographed Haunters: The Art of the Scare with
That's Liz.
Shar
yes.
signed it, Donald signed it, I signed it. So did Jessica Cameron, Josh Randall from Blackout, Alexander Burke, one of the composers, Alexander Burke, who was supposed to be popping around here, but I don't see him. I'll be doing something with him and Jonathan Snipes on Thursday. I'm gonna interview them about the music of Haunters because I love the music in the movie so much.
Great. If I read one of your questions, let me know if you're local. That'll make things a little bit easier. Because otherwise, let me just ask another question then in the meantime while I wait for people to respond to that. But Blobfish TV Fish, great name, wants to know favorite part in Monster Squad for
Andre Gower.
Yes,
Here,
Andre,
seated,
favorite
seated.
part in Monster Squad. You got a question specifically for you, yes.
Favorite part of the movie?
I believe so, or if you
Or
want,
ma-
of your experience making it would
No,
probably be more
let's go with the favorite part of the movie because I
Okay.
usually get the what was your favorite part of doing it or something. So it's kind of rare when you actually watch a movie that you're in to not pay attention to yourself
Yeah.
all the time. And so over the years, I've tried to watch other things, Monster Squad, and there's some really great stuff in this movie that has nothing to do with me. And I think my favorite scene in the movie happens to be me and Stephen Mock, dad and son in the upstairs bathroom talking about not being able to go see this movie called Groundhog Day Part 12. And then I love the kind of companion scene to that with Ashley Bank and Mary Ellen Trainor. It was just the mom and the daughter talking, and it's about the candle keeping monsters away. And then later on in the movie, that candle blinks out. And if you never saw the movie on in a movie theater or you never got the Japanese Laserdisc, you never saw that candle blink out later in the movie because it was pan and scanned and compressed. So you never saw an amazing element of the storytelling in this movie until they finally got the DVD out and you saw the kind of candle blink out. So I think that's one of my favorite parts in the movie, besides the whole thing.
Oh yeah, amazing. My favorite part was when the old man tells him, "I've seen real monsters," and rolls up his sleeve, and there is his Holocaust tattoo on his arm. And I'm watching this with my grandfather, and he starts tearing up and crying, and other people start getting emotional, and I'm like, this is. As a kid, it was emotional. It was very emotional, very powerful, and I just love that scene so much because that movie is so insane. How you go from sentimental to sweet to scary to a moment like that really hits a nerve and puts things in perspective. I absolutely love Monster Squad so much, and I'm so glad that you've made Wolfman's Got Nards. After that character, who of course had one of the greatest lines ever. Also the line, "My name is Horace." Awesome.
Yeah, who knew a movie that did terrible in the movie theaters was going to, kind of have this following after 31 years.
I saw it 3 times. I'm the
You're the one.
I'm the one.
And, it's, we're standing here, looking at Slashback Video, which is kind of where most of the Monster Squad audience found it in the local video store or on HBO. So it's really kind of, a third, not even a third in the movie theater. And then the rest was kind of split between HBO and then most of it was your local video store because local video stores were rad. And it was going in every afternoon and, your friend might have been working the counter and said, "You've got to see this," or "What did you see? What's new? What have you got?" And we have so many stories over the years of kids going into the local video store and renting it every weekend because you couldn't own movies back then. Because if you had to buy it, it came with an inherent distribution license in it. So you had to buy a movie for like hundreds of dollars. And so you could only rent it. And they would go in every Friday or every Saturday afternoon and rent it. And by the time the clerks got so tired of these kids coming, they just gave them the movie. Or they would just steal it, and their mom's credit card would get dinged with the 7850 or whatever it is. But we try to capture that a little bit in the documentary, along with why it connects and why this movie, where a few people like John saw it in the movie theater, but we interview people from HBO, we interview people that that worked in their video store and would rent it all the time, and it's just amazing how something can connect and last that long. And I kind of wanted to turn that kind of celebration around on the fans a little bit, of the people that didn't let this movie die, and why we're talking about it 30 years later, when it should have just been, dead and buried and, in a graveyard somewhere, kind of like the E.T. Atari video game or something,
Another fun documentary.
that I was in.
That's right.
Ironically, because I'm the kid in the E.T. Atari video game commercial. That a lot of people don't know. And I have been blamed for making the worst video game of all time. I was not the programmer. And it's not even his fault. Watch that documentary. That is, like, this we're talking about. It's actually really good. Do a triple feature. Do Haunters, do Game Over, and do Wolfman's Got Nards. Just go see rad docs about cool stuff from back in the day that makes you who you are. Really is what it is. I want to tell my little Haunter story because, back in the day, you have your place down at your house that you just, that people gravitate to, and you have all these awesome shows that people go around. When I was a kid, I'm actually a rare one. I was born and raised in L.A., and we had a thing out in the valley in Granada Hills in Northridge at Devonshire Downs, which is the fairgrounds out there. And it was put on by the Northridge JCs, and it was called Factory of Nightmares. And you knew all of these were like your school teachers and your baseball coaches and all that, and they were all, did the effects makeup and became the creatures and the scare actors, and they put these rooms on in this thing during Halloween for a couple weeks, and that was my first experience with that. I was really young when they started it, and I admit I was a total wuss to go in these, when it first started, but I knew everybody, and I was in the end, like, I made movies and stuff, but that stuff still scared me. And you'd walk through and they'd do the hospitals. It was, all this stuff. And this was, this is 30, 35, almost 40 years ago that they did that. And, I just remember like the guy that ran my school, Mr. Fauché, was, one of the guys that did Factory of Nightmares at Devonshire Downs. And it was just at the local fairgrounds. And it just seemed like you instantly got transported into like Anytown, USA at Devonshire Downs during Halloween for, that type of thing. And, it's just rad that it keeps carrying on and now people are just getting more and creative and keep sort of that. It's an experience because everybody experiences everything on their phone or on their laptop now. We rarely even go to the movie theater, experience a movie with other people in a dark room, let alone going to, actual, like we're talking about people touching and feeling your mask or your makeup and, experiencing something in a scary dark room with other people. That's how we connect. And we're losing that a little bit. So I'm glad that's still around for at least a subset of us. So it's pretty good.
Well, it's true. I mean, that's the fun part about this world of haunting is that, look, there's always the theme park stuff where I also take out my phone. I have to take pictures of everything because it's so incredible at Universal. I'm always, filming and taking pictures. It's so great. But I love the ones where you can't bring a phone in and you have to go alone and you're going to have an experience. And when it's over, you just went through your own adventure. And what do you get to do? You get to tell a story with a friend. They get to tell you a story. When I went through Delusion the first time and I got split up from my friends, like the scene that's in the movie where the person is getting kidnapped in the bathroom. That was my experience with Delusion.
yeah.
And, for being held hostage in a real creepy room where there's nothing but all these little baby dolls everywhere and they're all looking at me and there's a voice from behind the wall going, kill him. And she's like, no. And she's like holding a knife right by my face. I'm like, oh my God. And eventually, it really was funny because I'm by myself with the actor. None of my friends are here. And when you're by yourself with an actor and there's nobody else there that your reactions are hilarious because you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, what do I do here? There's no one to joke around with, so you just feel awkward and really weird, and it starts feeling scary. My friends rescued me at one point, but when it was all over, I was like, what happened to you when I was in there? You were screaming. They went, a guy was in the ceiling and he landed on us. I'm like, what? As we were talking about it, I got the chills. It became scarier later, sitting around talking about it, and I'm like, oh my God, we're having our own real life ghost stories, only it's something we actually did, That was cool. The part in the documentary too is when Jason Blum brings that up about the screams. It was so cool that I was able to get him because he was doing the Purge Live Fear the Night with Josh Randall from Blackout. So amazing. It was like just an adventure. It was an absolute awesome adventure. And in the bonus features, for the people who are winning the DVDs, the 30 minutes of bonus features, you actually get to see the Purge Live Fear the Night behind the scenes, and it's awesome. I had a great. It's so bizarre how there were so many scenes that were in it that were so good that they ended up using them for the second Purge movie.
Oh,
they did
wow.
it before the second Purge movie, and then they ended up putting it in that movie because
that's
it
great.
worked so well. Yeah.
So, since there is kind of a dearth of local people in this chat, I do have a suggestion. Maybe with Chelsea, since she's local, maybe switch her prize to one of the tickets, if you think that'd be okay, because she's one of the few locals.
Switch a prize to we'll give Chelsea it.
And then another local is Bedlam Biersey, who asked Donald about Tom Cruise and Hugh Jackman using his props. So he's a local, and he can get.
Is he still there?
I believe so. I believe he's still in the chat.
Okay, so
Bedlam Biersey.
Bedlam, are you adventurous? Do you want to try the 17th door?
Oh, wow.
Do you want to give that a shot?
Now, there is probably a minute delay at this point in the chat, so we could just sit here and hold our breaths.
All right, so...
what are his options?
So your options... Okay, we have on the clipboard, so we have the 17th door, which... Hey, there's a safe word, so you'll be okay. It's in Fullerton, and so it's in Orange County. I drive down to it multiple times. It's great. You can also choose Shapeshifter, so you can go with 4 friends, you and 3 other friends. Shapeshifter is that's that rock and roll horror circus show that Graham Skipper talked about in the beginning. We also have, these are good, 2 tickets to Murder Co. So Murder Co. is the one it's the escape room with the actors in it. And John Cook, the designer from Not Scary Farm and from Queen Mary, did it. And during the Halloween season, he said it's going to be bloody, gory, crazy.
And it's already rated R.
It's already rated R anyway. Your kids can't go. There's also, let's see here, another experience. Zombie ballet. It's awesome. They won the Gong Show, okay? They know what they're doing. And I love them. They're awesome. And they put on a real incredible production. So those are the experiences we have to choose from right now.
Okay, I'm waiting for them to respond. I know that they're in here because I saw them talking before your stuff would have been transmitted over the internets to them. But while we wait for that response, we do have some non-local people. We still have prizes for them, right?
What's that? Yes.
The non-locals.
Yes,
So,
non-locals. We got DVDs. We got T-shirts.
Did we already assign a prize to Halloween Mask Dude, who asked how you deal with rude guests? Early question.
Let's give a prize to Halloween Dude.
Halloween Mask Dude.
Do you want to? Would you like a shirt? We have a Zombie Joe Urban Death Tour shirt. Those are awesome. You can also get a. You know what? We can do one of the Haunter shirts from Fright Rags.
Ooh.
Or we can do. Let's see here. Or we can do Haunter's autographed DVD with a Fright Rags enamel pen. Yeah, look at the Shar's face. Go ask a question. Go ask a question.
Go online and answer.
Yeah, I'll give you guys the list. There's other prizes on here too. We have a lot of.
Oh wow,
prizes.
the delay is real bad.
Oh wow, are they just coming through?
Bedlam was just like, yes, I am here. So that's quite a delay.
Okay, all right.
Quite a delay. But let's see. Let's say other non-local people. We got Danny Patrick, who had asked Donald his greatest accomplishment in all his years of haunting, or I think that was a general question. Yeah, I guess maybe you should just start assigning
Let's
instead
do
of
it.
asking. Yeah.
Okay, so is Danny local?
No, not
No,
local.
Danny's not local. Danny, I'm getting you a Haunter's autographed DVD with the enamel pen.
All right, Danny Patrick. Nice. Let's see. We already gave Liz a gift, right?
Liz is getting the autographed DVD.
That's right. Cool. We got Lexi De Saracho, who asked what you guys look for in your haunters.
It's a great name too.
Yeah, I like
Local or away?
Away.
Away. No, we already gave that away. Oh yeah, we took the lunchbox back. Oh. You know what?
I'm glad I pay attention.
Thank you. Yeah, we can ship it. We can ship this thing. It's not gonna be too crazy. All right, you're gonna get the like we said before. It's the Revenge Slashback lunchbox. Here, the owners are right over here. Come on over here.
Cool.
Say
Oh yeah,
hello.
we got the Slashback owners here. Yeah.
Take it slow and easy. Shar. Boom.
Oh, and Bedlam won 17th door. Finally
Okay, well,
responded.
Bedlam, you
Great.
get 17th door.
Bedlam, you got it. Yeah.
Have a seat on your own couch. Yeah.
How's it going?
Dude, thank you so much for letting us do this here. And let's just tell everyone, the camera's right there, the little blue thing. And, can you put down Bedlam? And because I'm going to forget.
Yeah, here we'll work on these while you're
Thanks so
talking.
much. So, the Mystic Museum. How do you describe the Mystic Museum to somebody? Because whenever I talk about it, I'm just like, I can't even really call it a museum because it's such a bizarre experience, and it's so cool, and it's so much fun. And I love museums, but I don't have the same feeling. Because in the museum, I want to be quiet. I want to, look around, but it's like when I'm here, it's just like everything. I want to interact with everything.
Well, I appreciate that. That sounds awesome. So, I do consider it a museum because there is a lot of artifacts in here as well. There's like Egyptian mummy things. There's books dating from the 1700s that are magic related or occult related. We do have the largest Ouija board collection in the country right now, and some of these Ouija boards are super rare, expensive, hard to come by. But we don't try to have that vibe as a keep quiet, it's a museum type of thing. We do our exhibits and openings seems more like a party than they do seem like a wine and cheese crowd for art shows. So,
Although there was some great wine and cheese at the opening of Slashback Video, and there was also like all my favorite horror directors, and it was a great party. Fangoria put it on with you. Revenge of Slashback. I wore that shirt when I went to the 17th door, and I was you can see on my Instagram I'm screaming my head off in virtual reality while being shocked and whatnot while wearing that shirt. This is such a cool experience. There's nothing like this I've ever seen anywhere else.
appreciate it. So how I describe it to people is just, it is a museum of mystical things, occult related, but then we do these special exhibits every 3 months, and Slashback Video being the only one that we brought back twice. So really, it's just a place for like-minded and people that are in this community to come and actually just keep coming back and experience something new and have fun. And it's basically for the Halloween crowd all year round, as well as the true collectors of the cult and mysticism and anything else, related in any subgenre of that.
And how long is Slashback here for?
Slashback, this is going to be until the end of the year, actually. So this is going to be a really long show. We plan on adding more things. We plan on, changing some things out, having some events, So it's going to be really fun. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next few months with this, and just having fun. And we do now do 50% off if you have the membership card, just like you would get at a VHS store, and for a reverse, we call it Flip Side Sundays, where you could flip the boxes over and see the reverse side. So that's pretty fun. That's a fun thing that we're adding. We did it last year too, but it's great. It's just we've had such an amazing response to this show, so I love it.
Oh man, it's like
Cool.
you can even play the Friday 13th Nintendo video game that I grew up with. Oh my god, the fact that you have that here. There's a lot of kids that see that people dress up as Jason wearing purple and blue, and they get that it's from a video game, but now they can come here and actually play it.
It's funny because we were talking about the E.T. Game as being one of the worst. I think for Nintendo, Friday the 13th was considered one of the worst.
It was,
but everyone loves it now. It's still a collector's item now. It's definitely a cult classic, and people collect it. We switch the game, so every few days you could come and play a new game. We got Friday the 13th. We got Nightmare on Elm Street. We have Fester's Quest. So same thing with that's the new section we added this year. Is the Nintendo section and the Atari section, and that's one of the interactive parts too. Is that we have a whole game corner, and so that's really fun. We also added a kids section, but they're all still horror themed titles, so it's really fun.
That was Graham Skipper said that's his favorite section is the kids section. It's awesome. Now there's also great original art that's going on in there too. Really fun to see what the artist came up with the one for Saw, the great one that the one for Beetlejuice that Little Shop of Gore did. Really creative, so much fun.
I think that was definitely because we didn't want to lose the aspect of also doing art with the exhibits. And one of the things that I came up with was like, what if we encouraged artists to do artwork on VHS cases or create their own VHS case? And we did that last year, and we're like, we really loved that idea. Let's do it again this year, and it was so much fun. And then also the photo ops, like that's the cool thing. There's so many things you turn around and you could actually take a photo with something. Like the actual counter seems to be the most fun. And you could wear a hat, you could buy a staff shirt, wear the staff shirt, and so everyone pretends that they're working at this VHS store.
That's the coolest. Well, thank you so much, and thanks for having us here.
Thanks for choosing this place.
Oh, come on. This is my favorite place, too.
Awesome.
I'm always here.
Well,
thank you. All right, so where are we on the prizes?
We're trying to tease them out. We have so many tickets available. That's the crazy thing is you got so many.
We can do some
tickets.
spillover some other time also. That we'd have to do them soon.
Okay. Well, let's see.
But I got a lot of prizes. I get prize happy. My feeling is I do feel like, I'm a huge fan of this, but I'm a huge fan of movies, and I know that when I'm a fan of something and that thing that I'm a fan of has something cool for me, I freak out. I love it. I have little collectibles and things that I've been holding on to. Like I still have the Freddy's Dead 3D glasses from when it was in the theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
With the advertisement on one side for House Party 2, and the other one is for Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Where is Shapeshifters?
Shapeshifter is in Glendale.
It's in Glendale, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
She was asking. How about we give Audrey Elise a Zombie Joe Urban Death T-shirt? Audrey Elise, give you one of them shirts. What does that look like, John? You got one of those
I don't
around?
have the shirt with me.
Oh, okay.
There, Shar, back up. That's Shapeshifter. We're talking to Zombie Joe now.
Cool.
So
cool.
Zombie Joe's. It's a creepy shirt. It's awesome. And
Nice.
honestly,
Zombie Joe's is awesome.
when you get the chance, like every time I see someone with an Urban Death shirt, we have a great conversation because that means you love some seriously weird shit.
John, you have always good conversations with people. When we went to Fantastic Fest in Austin for the premiere of the movie, anybody that had a similar type shirt that you did, you were like, "Oh, I love your shirt," and then you guys were having shirt conversations.
That's why I'm like so stoked on Fright Rags with our shirt
Oh,
because I am a horror shirt nerd. This is like my favorite thing. It's like whenever you see people with the same type of shirt, it's like, like you know all the companies and all the different things they specialize in.
Yeah, and people have been asking me where to get these shirts. Now they just came out. You want to tell everyone where to get them?
So fright-rags.com. You go to fright-rags.com. We're the only documentary to ever get a Fright Rags merchandise deal. Never happened before. And if you go to our website, hauntersmovie.com, there's a merch button. Click it there. You can see the different merch that's there. There's also a lot of cool stuff on hauntersmovie.com. There's something really cool that's on our Facebook page that I'm really excited about. It's called HauntBot.
I love
HauntBot. It's like a little, and he exists. You can see him now too. He's trick or treating. HauntBot will take you behind the scenes of the movie. But it's also going to be telling you about different things that are happening, different events, different fun stuff that's going on. But I'm always adding stuff to HauntBot, and it's so much fun. The amount of people that are having conversations with HauntBot, and then of course, if you click Talk to Human, have something interesting to say because I'm talking to you. But it's HauntBot's great. And people have been finding different haunts they want to go to through HauntBot, and they've been finding out more about the movie.
So it sounds like we're running out of time here.
Let's see, what time is it?
It is 9 o'clock.
We got it until 10, so we can do.
Okay, so
and pizza should be here soon.
Oh, well, we can stick around for the
That's why I
pizza.
was playing
We got
with
some
the
local questions then. Let's see. Crystal Geek just asks, what are all your favorite theme park haunts? Just in general.
Theme park
questions
haunts?
in the
Okay.
room. Yeah. Shar looks very eager to answer.
You go, Shar. You go, Shar. I'll tell you what.
My
And Crystal
favorite
Geek-
theme park haunt right now, because it'll change. But right now, Universal Studios Hollywood.
Yeah.
I would
my
say
favorite right now.
that's my favorite right now too. But I'll say like last year was one of my favorite years for Universal and my favorite year for Knott's. They both had the best that I had seen, and I've been going to both forever. But what's so great is the Queen Mary's fantastic. I haven't gone this year yet because the opening is this weekend.
Thursday was supposed to go.
Yeah, and so you're going Thursday?
We're supposed to.
Okay, well, I'm trying to go Thursday also. Yeah, what's so cool about Queen Mary is not only that you get to go on the ship and go inside the engine room, and they do that as a spooky experience. It's creepy.
That's so
They
cool.
have other original haunts that are outside there, and it's the atmosphere by the water, and it's really cool.
They don't do IP, right? They just do like
They do their
original-
own stuff.
Because if they did, they could make a great Jason Takes Manhattan haunt.
Dude, they could.
Oh my god.
You're right. They could do that. They could do Ghost Ship.
Ooh.
All the people get severed. That's one of the most messed up open.
Yeah, people have told me to kill count it, and I'm like, I can't.
Are you trying to do the kill count of that?
I can't do that.
You have like 1, 2,
That's all
3.
I remember from that movie. Ooh.
That's all you have to remember. That opening is one of the greatest openings ever. Like
Yeah.
nothing can live up to that opening.
Yeah.
What's going to happen later on in the movie? What's your favorite theme park, haunt?
Universal for sure.
Awesome.
A lot of love for Universal. We love it.
Mine's Knott's. Mine's
Knott's.
always Knott's. I grew up going to Knott's. When I was there for the opening the other week, I was just sitting there. I was like, I love this. I wish this was my life every single day. I wish I could be here every day of the year. So much fun.
Their scare zones are so good. Their scare zones are amazing there too, especially Ghost Town. Who asked that question?
That was the Crystal Geek.
Well, Crystal Geek?
They are local. I'm looking for only local questions at this
Okay,
point.
Crystal Geek, you're local.
Disneyland for Halloween.
Oh, Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
It's
you
so
like
good.
Mickey's Halloween party?
So scary Halloween party.
All right, Crystal Geek.
Crystal Geek took 17th door.
Boom. You're gonna
You can
see them in action.
They asked if they could bring friends. You can bring one friend. It's a pair of tickets.
That's right. We bring
Yeah.
one friend, and the safe word is mercy.
Do the VR if you
Safe
get a
word is
chance.
mercy. Oh yeah, and do
It's
that
like
VR.
$12.
Yeah,
It's so
do the
worth it.
VR. Make sure you do the VR. Some people.
It's a full 20 or so minutes extra
Yeah, the VR experience is
Does
a-
stuff happen to you physically
Yes.
also while you do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I
not
don't
just
think
you're putting
VR
on the-
could scare me.
Oh, it's scary. Let me say,
I do VR. I do VR.
I'm working the VR. There's actors, there's sets. There's actually a little bit of a set change as well. There's thematic effects. I'm not. That's all I'm gonna say. You have the goggles on. It's 360-degree immersive, while you're on seats that move a little bit, and you might feel some physical effects as well. So it is completely 100% immersive. It is one of the most amazing VR programs I've ever seen.
Nice.
I have to say, I work in the room across from them, and this weekend it was really hard to keep talking over all the screams that were coming over. I'm being serious. They were so loud screaming. I'm trying to do my scene, and it's like all that you hear is guys screaming like little girls. Oh, that was you.
that's right. That was me, and I'll tell you what, I'm not ashamed. I was screaming my head off. It was so scary, and I was this close at one point to actually calling Mercy. I thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm going to do it. Because they did this one thing that blew my mind and freaked me out. And I was like, something horrible can happen right now. That it's going to be the illusion of danger. Because that's what you go for, right? The illusion of danger, not actual danger. However, they push it. It's wild.
Crystal
Enjoy.
Crystal Geek is actually she's gonna give these tickets to her parents for their anniversary.
Anniversary tickets?
Yes.
Nice.
Through VR.
Well, hopefully, look, as we I filmed a scare study that's not in the movie, but one thing we've learned after talking to a lot of scientists is when couples go through these things, it can either be a great bonding moment or it can really split you up. So that's a very dangerous anniversary present. Let's hope that they protect each other. Let's hope that they stand up for each other. Let's hope that they don't throw each other under the bus.
Our friend Jen is doing her
That's
honeymoon.
That's right. Jen from Women in Caskets podcast is doing 17th Door for her honeymoon, going out for her honeymoon. It's really cute. Hopefully, I'm so curious what she'll do in that because the first immersive thing that she went to was last year, and that was Lore.
Yeah, she loved
with
Lore, but
put on by Creep LA.
that's a lot different than.
Very different, very different. It's
But
not,
she's
not
also
as
going to do Universal too, and that's different again. The thing that's really cool about like our area is there's so many different types of things. There's immersive, there's interactive, there's theatrical, there's extreme, there's traditional, also known as
mix of all of them.
also known as booth scare mages.
right. And Donald hates that
Donald hates
expression,
that name.
but
Combinations of all of them too, and it's like there's something for everyone, like you always say about horror movies, John.
and there's the best home haunts.
Oh, the best.
Best home haunts in the world are out here. I mean, I keep saying it. I said at the beginning of the stream also, Rotten Apple 907. If you look up Rotten Apple 907 Haunt on Facebook, and you'll see the artwork for their poster for the Pinocchio theme this year. The artwork for their posters every year is inspiring. Their Snow White year was one of my favorite years ever. Their Wizard of Oz year, where you went inside and you hear there's a twister and the whole set rotated around.
Oh, that's
yeah,
sweet. At a home haunt.
At a home haunt.
This is somebody's house that they're living in, and they're just doing stuff out on their driveway and in their garage and stuff.
And they're 1 mile away from the Backwoods Maze, which is so awesome. I mean, you go to that one too.
Yeah, those are great too. We discovered them 2-3 years ago. We've been going, took the kids. They didn't
Yeah,
go
you could
in.
take the kids
Yeah,
to
they
that.
didn't make it inside, but but I took them nonetheless.
You would go this year, though.
Yeah, this year I'm dragging him.
Give it a try. Any other questions? Or do we know any other prize updates?
Let's see. I think we are all out of the non-local prizes. I apologize to the non-local people. I'm waiting to see if Jordan wants that shirt, right?
I think she said she did.
Well, then write her down,
Okay.
and that's it for
So
that.
one of the things that we were just saying about, you were asking about her kids, is when do you take your kids to a haunt? I get that question all the time. Now, this is a good question, so think about a prize for me. So the answer is
We got plenty of tickets if you're local.
I am local. I'm local. I'll go. The thing is, you have to know your kid. Not every kid. When they say knots is 13 and over, it depends on your kid. Or 16 and over. Do you know what they say? 13. Sometimes you could bring. We used to see kids coming at 7 and 8. Then we're digging it and totally fine. Then we saw 17, 18, 19-year-olds that just couldn't take it and came in and came out the side door right away.
Yeah, okay.
So you got to know who your kids are.
You're right. I was 5 when I went to my first haunt.
Whoa.
And I loved it. I absolutely thought it was the greatest thing ever. And 5 years old, my dad remembers it perfectly. I remember it perfectly. And I went through it 3 times in a row. And I loved it so much. And I remember, whenever like a smoke machine goes on in a haunt, it just brings me back. I love it so much.
Rosie went when she was 3 or 4.
Oh, the haunted hayride?
wow.
Yeah, the haunted hayride. I was working it, and my mom took her.
Yeah. I don't remember much of it. I was 3 or 4, but I remember you were a witch, and it was cold, and I was very scared.
I wasn't a witch, but it's okay. But yeah, how old were you when I first let you
That
go to
was
Knott's as a...
6th grade, but you would take me earlier, previous years, you would take me behind the scenes, take your daughter to work day, and I would go back and meet all the monsters and get to know everybody. And then when I finally got to go to haunt, it was oh, I've met all these people before. They're nice. I like them.
We got a question in general. Are there any characters or monsters that you haven't had the chance to portray yet that you want to? That's a local question from Christian, so he can get some tickets.
I would like to do something like maybe a creature with snakes in her hair, Medusa, something like that. I haven't done anything like that. I would love to do a Medusa or some sort of mythological creature, something that's not a creepy old lady. Okay.
Hey, you were a great clown in our clown maze.
Clowns and zombies I do all the time, but something different.
What about you, Donald? Because it's funny, usually Donald isn't even in his maze. He's usually dragging a body outside of the maze and just lurking around with this what is that faceless black mask you put on so no one can see your face?
It's a faceless mask.
The Blackout executioner mask, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Sorry.
That's really a difficult question because, once again, I'm never in my mazes and I almost always run out of time and I always cut whatever I want to do for myself last. I did at one point have this convoluted dream of having an executioner's mask, but the bottom jaw was torn off and then the teeth would chatter. I'm still probably going to end up doing that now that I don't have a haunt on Halloween anymore. But something like that, but mainly I would always focus on, I had such a good group of crew that I would try to cater toward them if I liked their ideas. So the final year, one of my guys jokingly said, wouldn't it be funny if we just rip somebody's heart out and it sprays everybody with blood?
That would be hilarious.
As a joke. And then we built it. We built the chest burster. We tied somebody into it. It actually ripped open her chest and it sprayed everybody with blood while she screamed. And that was fun.
It's in the movie for a second. It was so hard to film because it was in a real narrow hallway and it ripped open. She's in this thing and they're like, you have to help her.
We put it next to, so the button was next to a drop panel that you were supposed to push the button, the drop panel would go down, and then it still wouldn't work. So the girl would say, no, you have to help me. And when you went over, it ripped open her chest and sprayed everybody with blood.
And it was so in the trailer of the movie, when that drop panel drops, that's one girl with the hood screams and she's circling around. That was from that part of the movie. It was so hard, the part of his haunt. It was so hard to film the other part because the people who got scared from the drop panel would be leaping over here, and then the chest would open up here and water spraying there, and I'm just trying to get things in focus. It was really tough, but that was such an original part of that maze. It was so incredible.
My goal was to make everything you filmed very difficult. That's all I wanted to accomplish.
You had one scare that was right in front of you. The next scare was way up above. I'm just trying everything I can, and it's open for 4 hours only. I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna ever get this done? Yeah, once a year. I'm like, well, I got a couple of good hours in here. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll come here next year and film a little bit more.
John, we're taking
Hey, Donald, get in here. Andre, get in here.
Jock.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you're done with that, Jock Killer 7 wants to ask Shar if she would like to start a matriarchy of haunters.
A matriarchy.
Yeah. Or,
Patriarchy.
I'm actually in a haunt group on Facebook called Women Who Haunt.
Oh.
Just got into that. That was really cool. And
I like
Was
that
that-
name.
Here you go, matriarchy.
oh, here we are.
Women Who Haunt.
Women Who Haunt. Yeah, I got into a new Facebook group, and everybody's nice. It's a new group, and it's only women, and everyone's nice in this group. So it's too bad. It's like the only group on Facebook that I'm on that everybody isn't yelling each other.
Donald said, seems exclusionatory.
But yeah, women haunting is something that's pretty cool. I mean, when I started haunting, I started with Scouts, so there was Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. But like when I first started doing haunting, I think it was mostly guys, young guys doing it. So that was kind of nice being around all these young guys. But then now I see more and more women getting into it. I love seeing the girls and the women who are sliding now, because that used to be all guys. Now women are doing it, so that's really cool. And yeah, just seeing young people get. Yeah, let's start a group. Okay.
So,
Give a prize.
Give a prize.
Oh, I have him. I put him down for zombie ballet.
That's Zombie Ballet if you want it. I'm basically at this point just going through and asking what they want that's left available. Another local question from where to go? Joel Vlogs. If any of you were to become horror directors, what topics would your movies be about?
Horror directors?
Yeah.
Well, I got a couple scripts. We're actually we just had a meeting just recently about one of them.
Ooh.
But no comment on that right now. But one second, Andre, grab a picture with you before you leave.
Oh,
And
getting pictures.
but you were talking about doing a horror film about something from the movie.
Oh God! I mean, I did not know. Was it Extremity that just came out?
Yes, we just saw
I
it.
didn't know that was a thing because when I was watching Haunters, I was like, I just want to make this whole thing into a script. Like Russ's relationship with his neighbor is so scary and weird that I thought that'd be such a good horror. But it sounds like that someone beat me to the punch.
Yeah, Extremities. We just went to the premiere of Extremities. It's playing at the Frida coming up, and it has a couple other places. But it was interesting. When we went to see it, they were talking about John and his movie and how it influenced. Yes, it was at the Chinese theater. But they were talking about how his film Haunters influenced it, and just if you watch Extremities, if you've seen Haunters and you've seen Blackout and you've seen some of McKenny's stuff, you get it. You see where they're going with it, so it's kind of cool.
Have some pizza. Yeah, there's definitely stuff in Extremity that I was so interested in some of the topics they were covering in Extremity. And that director, too, he started off his career working with Clive Barker as a college film school internship.
Oh my God.
He had graduated. His original internship, by the way, I did an interview with him for the Blu-ray, and it's this part's not in it, so I can feel free to talk about it. They cut this part out. This is like one of my favorite parts. He got an internship with Marvel when Sam Raimi was working on Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like, I want to do horror, and he wasn't in film school anymore. He called Emerson. He goes, can you get me another internship in the horror space? And they said, well, we can get you one either with John Carpenter, Wes Craven, or Clive Barker. And he goes like, I've read all of Clive Barker's stuff. Let's do Clive Barker. I'm like, those are your options? Those are your options? At Emerson? Those are your options? Excuse me. I went to Chapman Film School, and those were not my options. Those were not my options. That was what amazing options. That's the definition of a good internship. We have plates too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I think the museum would
I think we have one more prize and one more local question
Great.
from Rocco Perdenza asking, what has been the scariest experience outside of haunted houses for you?
Politics. The scariest experience outside of haunted houses?
Like paranormal stories?
Anything like that? I don't know. Were you ever kidnapped, dude? Because I don't believe in supernatural stuff, so I don't know how to answer this.
Look, I don't know what to say about this. It really is like turn on the news and you freak out. I mean, I think the real world right now is also part of the reason why we're having more a bigger boom in haunted houses. And in the movie, you saw it. You know, during the Depression, we had all the Universal monster movies. You know, during the War on Terror, once that got televised, what did we start getting? We started getting extreme horror films, which then lead to extreme haunts. So I think, look, during tough times, we do get great horror. But we always can look back to those great horror films and see the warnings that they had then. And we are always repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And We'll never learn. You sound like an Ed Wood film. You'll never learn, you stupid humans. Stupid. Plan 9 from Outer Space. Love it. And I love Ed Wood. And they have the Ed Wood banner in here at Slashback. It's so cool.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
That's the banner I had when I was growing up, because I went to a video store and I said, what are you going to do with that banner later on? I had that. I had the Freddy standee of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors. You remember all this stuff. I had everything.
Yeah, everything. I loved your room. You had the best room. My parents wouldn't buy me anything.
No one bought me that. I got that at the video stores. I had them put my name on the back of the stuff, so when they went to throw it away, I would take it.
Too growing up. I have one from 7-Eleven back at my house, my parents' house in Michigan. It's Wolverine, and it's just got like it says Slurpee down the side. So yeah, I have all kinds of stuff like that.
I like the way he even said it. Slurpee down the side. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's like still in my parents' basement somewhere.
Anything else before we all eat pizza?
Let's see. No, we'll figure out the rest of the prize situation here, because we got some. We got the last two winners are both like, I don't think I can make it, so we'll sort it out. We'll have them gifted to other people, I guess.
The big one though that should not be gifted to anyone else is the Theater Macabre tickets.
I think somebody won that already.
Those two. Shar, did you put your name down?
Shar did put her name down there.
Oh, how dare you! How dare you! How dare you! How? Hey,
I did just look down. I was like,
We go together.
that's not my handwriting.
We're gonna get a lot of trouble. I want to go to Theater Macabre.
No, give it out to a fan.
We should give it to.
Well, that is one of the last ones open, so
we should give it to somebody. It's a real.
I was gonna say that's like.
Yeah, I know. I was eyeing that.
I
It's
know.
like,
I
shit.
was like, I'm jealous of her.
Look, Theater Macabre is like, these are not easy tickets to get.
Yeah,
It's
guys,
already,
this is.
read the description on the website. What they're saying is going to happen there. It sounds so incredible. And Darren Bousman.
Why don't you open it up to some local horror trivia?
Oh yeah, like anyone local who is interested in Theater Macabre. Oh man, the delay is gonna suck. But let me just type this question in.
Who's ever the first one?
Are we participating too?
All right.
Oh man.
So.
Yeah, because that's like, you know.
And you can be my
I-
date.
Go deep.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
let's.
who is Chelsea's there being like in all caps, guys, Theater Macabre is so cool.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know. Yeah, it should be a Darren Lynn Bousman question, because
Yeah, that's
you're
a
going to
good
his
idea.
experience. Okay, so what film is Darren Lynn Bousman currently touring the film festival circuit with?
Only answer if you're local, please. Please only answer if you're local. I don't
Only
want
answer
to
if you're local, and just know
answers.
also this film was filmed inside of the Tension Experience. He filmed it inside of the Tension Experience. Not a good clue. But name the movie. Name the film. It's touring the film festival circuit right now. It's doing quite well. A lot of buzz.
Google
How dare
can
you.
probably, be the.
Rosie's already.
Oh wait, I don't know the answer, so how will I know when it?
I'll tell you. Oh, here, I'll whisper in your ear.
Let's see. I'm waiting on answers to come here.
You definitely want to win these tickets. And then you can go to my website, sharmayer.com, and let me know, and I'll go with you. Or
was a good
not, or you
question,
can just
man.
go by yourself.
It's a tough one. If they don't get it, then I'll ask another.
If anybody's still watching,
Come on,
I'm
y'all.
trying to convince Shar that she should open up her own Scare Academy,
Ooh.
in which she will take enrollment in students and knowledge. She seems to think that nobody will do that. I disagree. So if you think that Shar should open up some Scare Academy of some sort, give her some love.
I actually have a book coming out.
Wait, really?
Nobody reads.
Nobody reads.
I read.
I have a book coming out about haunting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it a how-to book?
Yeah, little of
How to
this,
make
little of that.
Skill jugs?
How to make children. No, how to make
How to
children.
make children?
How to make
This is an
children cry.
inappropriate book.
No, how to make grown men fall to the ground and cry like little children. Because that is fun, right?
Of course.
Has anyone gotten it yet?
No one's gotten it, man.
Rosie, can you believe this?
Everyone right now.
Nobody really wants to go to it, I guess.
A few people know the answer, but like aren't local, so they're just like, "This is killing me."
We'll move to LA, guys. Come play.
All right, so you want a different question?
No, they're still working
I
on this
guess a
one.
different question since no one's got it.
Use the internets, people. Use the internets.
The Googles.
Darren Lynn Bousman's current film he's touring the film festival circuit with. It's killing me. This is killing me. Darren.
He was saying that all the non-local people
Oh.
in the chat are like, "Oh my god, you guys!"
Yeah, I know.
And everyone's very excited about
They're losing their
Shar's
minds.
school idea. Yes, very excited.
I'll tell you the one thing about Shar, the idea of Shar's school. I filmed Shar just this year while she was teaching scare school at the 17th door, and it was killing me that this didn't happen when I was filming the movie, and it was amazing. Amazing.
Why'd you end the movie?
Also, what's the
4 years.
what's the name of the book?
It's not out yet. I don't have the title.
Oh, it's not out yet. Doesn't
On
have.
the other side of the mask, being John took Art of the Scare already.
I will also say this about Shar.
When that comes out, we'll share it.
We recently we worked at a haunt together for the first time 2 years ago, and yes, it was a YouTube event. And Shar's, it doesn't. Her intensity does not transmit well on the screen. When you're standing around and she's rampaging, it's awesome. It's so over the top of anything that most people. I was embarrassed calling myself a scare actor because of how. Because no, this isn't hyperbole or anything. She puts in such intensity where you're like, I better take that weapon from her because she's gonna hurt somebody. Like I legitimately thought I was gonna have to. She had a hammer, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to take the hammer from her. She's gonna hurt somebody.
And that was at YouTube.
YouTube space. And so with that's why I'm trying to convince her to do the Scare Academy, because regardless of what she says on film, if you don't physically see it, it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, so that was in the film when Char's getting made over into a clown, and she's in that glowing clown maze. Okay, so YouTube hired me to put on this maze because I did their premiere for Fight of the Living Dead. I did the scary red carpet you went through. And I brought Shar on to be the monster wrangler. And then, oh my God, it's Alexander Burke, one of the composers of Haunters.
Oh, cool.
Come over
Composer.
here.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Hey, we found someone for the Theater Macabre tickets. They answered the question. Their name is Pancake Pirate, which is great in its own self. They also live in San Diego and will drive up here just to do Theater Macabre.
Pancake
Thank you,
Pirate won the
Pancake
Theater
Pirate.
Macabre
We're all
tickets.
very jealous of you.
Yes. you have a room of people angry at you.
Come here right now.
Cool.
Dude, good to see
Good
you.
to see you. Good to see you. Alexander Burke.
I know.
Alexander Burke. We had a lot of great musicians
If you
working on
want.
this movie, and Jonathan Snipes did all the really creepy stuff and some of the history section stuff. You were responsible for a lot of the heart that's in the movie. You did talk about the music you did for Haunters.
Well, it was a combination between me and Neil Baldock, who's currently in New Zealand. I can't take credit. We've split credit on everything. But yeah, it was all about the heart. The big thing I keep looking at that other mic like it's a camera. I just realized it's not.
That's the camera.
I got it. Hello, everyone. I now know what a camera and a microphone is. So thanks for that laugh. So yeah, the big thing that was fun about it is I got to do all the heart, and the whole thing with so many of these home haunts is it's homemade, and it's so endearing. It's so much fun to see people coming together and literally take what they have, their couches, their dressers, their whatever, and repurpose them into the scariest shit that you have ever seen in your life. So the whole thing with what I do with the music that had the heart is I wanted to repurpose instruments that everyone would have around their house: toy pianos, glockenspiels, a lot of clapping, hand percussion, literally just hitting spoons together. And so you give it that kind of homemade feel, like these homemade haunts. I wanted the sound to fit the visuals of what you were looking at.
Yeah, especially for Donald.
Yeah, I mean, Donald is like, he's more heart than anybody else. When you look at all those different haunts, like it just exudes heart and seeing the whole family together. I really wanted to get that.
And Shar and the monsters with the hand clappy, because you get that hand clappy feeling that you're there with them, you know, that you're in the excitement of the haunt.
Yeah, what I did, which, everyone wants to be in a movie. That's why we moved to LA, is we want to do movies, we want to be in movies, we want to be part of movies. So I called up about 25, 30 of my best friends and said, hey, do you want to be in a movie? Not, you won't be seen, but do you want to be clapping and singing? And most of them said, we aren't singers and we're not musicians. And I said, that's great. So I got about 25, 30 people all in my recording studio and essentially just had an epic party where I had people clap along and dance along, and I had everyone just jump up and down to stomp. So we had these huge pounding sounds and these big clapping sounds because, so much music now is all overdubbed. You'll just clap by yourself in the studio, and then you'll record yourself clapping to get that same moment, and it sounds good. But there's a sound when you have 20, 30 people all clap you at the same time that feels kind of uneven and feels just really warm and fun and beautiful.
Oh my God, it was like when he had everyone going, ah, and you hear that when you see Donald making his haunt. And it's so much fun. Crank up the volume of the movie. Listen to it really loud, because when you hear it loud and you hear the sounds that are building up in the background, especially for the monster, every scene. I mean, when Jonathan Snipes' score kicks in for McCamey Manor and it starts getting creepier and creepier, Dead Man's Bones, the music of Dead Man's Bones is just so special. And that's, how we met.
And what's so much fun about the collaboration between Snipes and I is Snipes got to do the scary stuff, I got to do the heart. And I feel like we each inadvertently set each other up for success because Snipes is so terrifying that, my music is it makes you smile. So there's so much heart that then when that scary comes in, it takes you off guard and scares the shit out of you. And then after you've been terrified, thanks to Russ's, visuals with Jonathan's music, and then I come in, the heart feels so much bigger. So I feel like we really got to elevate each other a lot.
And that was the point of the movie there too, exactly what you just said, because the horror does emphasize the heart in the movie. It's one of those things where it's like people love Shar and they love Donald and they love hearing about all the home hunts so much, and it's emphasized even more, and your music really helps bring the heart to the surface. It's a real easy to fall in love with it when you hear kind of Halloween style music that isn't guilty pleasure, isn't silly, we had a lot of debate about what's guilty pleasure, what isn't. We talked about this kind of stuff a lot, and it heavily debated because I was like, no, it must be, it's got to feel good. It's got to make you feel good about fall. That whole thing, and you captured it so well. Neil Baldock did a great job, and you've worked with David Lynch, Fiona Apple, Dead Man's Bones. Yeah. Neil Baldock's worked on the theme song for the end song credits for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
He's worked with Radiohead. He's worked with, come on, Kanye West, Crowded House. Crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm really lucky that the artists who really inspired me so much are the people I reached out to, and somehow I got you to work on my movie.
Well, no one would say yes if the product wasn't so good. The film is amazing. The thing about all of us who worked at it is we all love Halloween. I'm having a hard time making eye contact with the camera right now because I'm looking over there and there's post.
So much.
Yeah.
It's so distracting.
There's
so much cool
but
stuff.
But it's there's Jason Goes to Hell, and when I was a kid, I could not fucking wait to watch that movie, and seeing the poster, I still smile at the end when Freddy's claw pulls him down. It's I was the most exciting thing ever. And Scream 2, could not wait for that movie to come out. It was, I don't think I was allowed to watch that movie when it came out. And my friends and I kind of got tickets for probably Land Before Time or something, snuck into it. I think Land Before Time. It wasn't the original. The original came out before I was born, but one of the sequels. One of the many, many, many sequels. But I feel like we snuck out Land Before Time to see Scream 2, and we were could not wait for it. And the thing about some of the old school horror movies, which are thankfully coming back, and the horror movies I love, are the ones that make you smile ear to ear the whole time. It's like your best friend telling you a ghost story. You're smiling the whole time you're jumping. And I love that kind of vibe in horror movies are coming back. A Quiet Place, I was smiling the entire time I saw that movie. even The Witch I saw with this guy. I was smiling the whole.
love The
Maybe
Witch.
my favorite horror movie.
Yeah, like I was smiling the whole time, and Haunters has that same vibe where you're just smiling the whole time.
Maybe not the entire time.
Yeah, maybe
It's
you're
okay to
wincing
not smile the whole
sometimes,
time.
yeah.
Any other questions coming up? or-
No, I think that should
That's
be
good?
it.
And do we give out all the prizes?
We did get out all the prizes. They are all emailing me with their addresses for stuff that needs to get shipped.
So that means
and-
we're giving out T-shirts.
yeah.
And so we've
I'll
given.
probably forward you all this information.
I hope you do.
Cool.
That way we can send it all forward. But I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the Mystic Museum and Slashback Video for
Yeah.
this amazing space. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my wife for ordering the
this
pizza
chicken?
food.
Oh.
I want to thank Zombie Joe's Underground Theater, Darren Lynn Bousman for the Theater Macabre tickets.
Yes.
17th Door. Thank you, Robbie, and Heather Luther at 17th Door for creating such a wild experience and for giving up those tickets. I want to thank Graham Skipper and his wife Jordan Skipper for the Shapeshifter tickets. And
Nice.
of course, we also have John Cook and Ted Doherty for Murder Co. from Black Market Escape Rooms. You think I have a teleprompter? I don't. I just want to thank these people because they're giving us all this great stuff. Zombie Ballet. I want to thank Lee Pertel from Zombie Ballet and our good friend Jen Danielle. Zombie Ballet is a great experience. And of course, I want to thank I did thank Zombie Joe's Underground Theater for Urban Death T-shirts, and look, Fright Rags, because we're giving out those some of those Haunters, the Art of the Scare shirts with, and the DVDs that are going out. We're gonna give you the enamel pin that goes with the DVDs.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's really cool. What's that? I did thank here. You're not listening because you keep talking because you're so excited to be here, and that's fine. And I love it. I love it. And I want to thank everyone for asking the questions. And you know what I really want to thank? I want to thank so much Dead Meat James.
Ah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Dead Meat James and Chelsea. Oh my God. This podcast, this show, let me just tell you, I've been finding so many people have been reaching out to us because of being on your show.
Oh,
and
cool.
The fact that you, it makes me, look, it's
That's
amazing.
why we do it, man. So people like you can get the recognition you deserve.
I was wondering when I was messaging you too. I'm like, he probably thinks I'm being like ridiculous here, but I kept saying, God, the editing is so good. It's so much fun. Like
That was
it's
all
really
Chelsea.
entertaining, and it's a great show. You guys do such a good job of bringing what we love about horror, and not taking the fan for granted, because that's the worst thing ever. Is that horror? We have the horror fans have the biggest hearts.
They
We
do.
love this more than anything. And the worst thing ever is when people take those fans for granted and just go, we'll just do this, we'll do that, and have this thing at the end. It's good enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I've had to slog through some stuff growing up. I've watched these horror. I'm like, fine, it is good enough for me. But you know what? It's shows like this that help raise the bar and point out what's quality, and showing, from the filmmaking part of it to the editing part of it, the pacing of it. We had a very long conversation. You guys cut that down, and it was so beautifully paced and well done. I really, you're so talented, and
thank
I
you,
just
John.
really, really inspired by your show. I've been going back and watching so many episodes. It's so much fun.
Yeah, there's
Cujo
a
was
lot to watch.
great.
Oh.
Oh my God! And it was so funny because I was talking to Bousman, and he said, I just saw the trailer for the watch party, and the next video that popped up was Saw 4.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, did you watch it? He's like, hell no, I'm not gonna watch my Saw 4. Oh my God! All I was thinking was like, oh my God, I can't. I don't want to hear.
I'd rather watch the Saw 2 or 3 one, but yeah.
I love that he rewatched Saw 2 just recently.
Yeah,
So that
that's
was a really
great.
cool story. But thanks for doing this. This is just
Oh, thanks,
so
man.
much fun.
And I, you know what? I couldn't do it without all the people in the chat and the audience and the viewers who are mods. Who, we have like a team of live stream moderators who just keep everything nice and polite and get